or try
I
to find
think
it?
it's after we hit Blindenstone for what I got.
No. It would be like a slight detour along the way there.
Yeah, I think the way we ended session, and this of course can change, but Aranis was very insistent on that he's not going to leave his dead sister behind, and he's going to do everything he can to find someone to bring her back. And in kind of response to that and sympathy for that, Gizmo was trying to find the closest place where they might likely have a snowball's chance of doing something with his sister, and that seemed to be Blingdenstone. But that was going to be like, what was it, 16 days or something trip? But I think if we go with fast march, it's going to be 12. And that was
correct.
kind of where we left off, as we were trying to figure out if that's what we were going to do. And then that's kind of where we left it, really. We were leaving the Grove for sure, but other than that, first option.
It is also possible that we could find something in Fartram's vault for reviving Ellara, among other things. Never know.
Yeah,
I thought we might play it by ear depending on how the trip goes, because it could go really poor, and then we might want to get to the nearest, city, town, or safe haven.
Well, ironically, going back to Gracklestug would be closer than going forward, but I didn't want to propose that because I don't really want to go back.
Yeah, we have Drow chasing our Drows. Don't go back.
Yeah. Well, I think isn't there only like one person in the party that was actually being chased by the Drow still?
Yeah, Eric.
Me, yeah. Don't sacrifice me.
Sacrifice him. Get him out.
So I'm up for whatever discussion. I was just in Gizmo's RP. He was trying to be supportive of Aranis, and that's why he suggested Blinkenstone. So
I do like the idea of kind of walking in the direction of Blinkenstone of the vault, like maybe in between the two, and like Bazarak said, if we need like to rest or something, we don't feel like we're ready for it, we can just get past it, just continue on to Blinkenstone.
Yeah, we might hit a fork in the road or something.
Yeah, I think we also heard from Tom that obviously the Myconids are leaving the Grove. Their final destination is not going to be Blingdenstone. That's not a place they're going to be able to establish a new colony. But they would be more interested in finding some place. I think he had suggested closer to the lake. So I don't know where that takes us relative to Blingdenstone and the vault, and whether or not the Myconid scouts have any place in mind.
Are we traveling with them?
Yeah,
we were planning to leave with them. Yeah. We're leaving at the same time, so.
Yeah. Well, we can just start walking then in that direction.
What is Rumpadump gonna do? Is he gonna travel with the Myconids that are departing?
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say he and Stool were leaving the Grove for sure. Whether they stay with the other Myconids or continue with us, I don't know. But
what does Stool want to do?
Stool is content staying with his own people. He has returned home. He has no place among you on the surface.
So Gizmo will consult our map and see where this vault is relative to Blingdenstone, relative to any place that maybe the Myconide scouts have perhaps thought of as a potential place that they might go as a destination. Gizmo will consult with the Myconide scout, the head scout there.
Without giving you exact measurements, if Blingdenstone will be to the far northwest, and Zobarzan closer to like the northeast, and the shores of Dark Lake sort of trailing onwards in this sort of direction, the vault will be perhaps a 2 to 3 days journey of yonder, from what Aranis can recall from his travels with his sister. Sort of just backtracing his steps up. Unfortunately, Aranis did not have a map at the time, so his information is hearsay, but as an approximation. It will be a slight detour from a direct path through tunnels to Blingdenstone, walking along the shores of the Dark Lake. From what he can recall, the vault was easily recognizable from a mile out, for it is being held in a large cavern, and the entire vault is beaconed by a lighthouse. With the aid of the Circle of Explorers to sort of lead you out of the nearby surroundings of the grove, and perhaps with what Aranis can recall, you might be able to find your way, all depending on your survival rolls and such. The map otherwise leads you on a direct path to Blingdenstone through more well-traveled traders' tunnels that Ilsa would use whenever traveling from Grecostuch to Blingdenstone. Do you wish to head toward the vault or a straight path?
I think maybe the straight path would be the safest. Who knows, our luck might change.
Taking the straight path will get you to Blingdenstone by the fastest way, circumventing the vault entirely.
If we get to Blingdenstone and then just want to double back, how many days would that be from Blingdenstone to the vault?
It will be making you a trip twice.
Yeah, it's
You're
long
close.
way back.
Yeah.
Let's do the vault, guys.
It's kind of like swimming across the ocean and swimming maybe like 80% back, paddling across the ocean.
Yeah, if it was like a day or two, I was going to be like, yeah, that would have been fine. But alright, let's just go to the vault then.
The Underdark is huge.
If we ever change our mind, it's not like we're heading in the wrong direction to get to Blingdenstone.
To the vault.
Yeah,
Alright.
so let's head out in the direction toward the vault then. Does that mean we're breaking up with the Myconids already? Or are we a day or two out from that?
They are traveling along the moist path of the Dark Lake shores, so you'll be traveling in the same column as them.
Okay.
What about Aranis? Is he trying to get to Blingdenstone like as fast as possible, and is he going to leave us?
There's no reason for him to do that.
No shot.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to try to help his sister there.
He's coming. With
Rushing into the dark alone would not expedite that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's not going to be happy about a detour, but he's not going to leave us, I guess.
There's a potential to find.
She's not getting any deader, so a detour will be quite indifferent to him. He just wants to get out of Neverlight Grove, or it is demon infested.
Understood.
And keep on the move. So, the dark depths of the Underdark beckon once more as you stand at the precipice of yet another perilous journey. As the party travels, Jimjar, ever eager to lighten the mood, sidles up beside a fellow gnome, Gizmo, flashing you a grin. You know, I bet 5 gold pieces we reach the next settlement without another run-in with mushroom queens or two-headed demons. What do you think?
I'm hoping that you're right. Are you betting against that?
Sure. The odds are in my favor,
5
after all.
gold pieces?
Mm-hmm.
5 gold pieces that we don't encounter any two-headed demons or Myconite, vicious Myconite peoples. I don't know. I'm not sure. You say it again. Say
He
the
chuckles
terms.
with you, not really expecting anyone to take him up on the offer, but tossing it out nonetheless, just trying to cheer up the mood. After a few moments, he gets a bit more introspective. Speaking of settlements, let me tell you about our next destination and my home, Blingston. He pulls up the map, sort of tracing a path along the northern roads. Spaghetti of different winding tunnels and such, ending at a pinpoint at the very top. It's located in the upper Underdark, but don't let the name fool you. It's a right mess of winding tunnels and caverns, but there's a beauty in it too. Ever seen a city made of stone that shines? Well, not in the fancy elf way with glowing trees or whatever, but with gemstones naturally embedded in the rock, you see. We mine those suckers, but it ain't just about the gems. The place, it has a soul, you know? He sort of pauses, his voice softening a bit. Used to be, anyway. We've had a bit of a rough patch. Took a beating from the drow some time back. Place got overrun. A lot of good folks died, or worse. But we're rebuilding, Goncho. Slowly. We deep gnomes are tough, stubborn. And if I had to wager, and I usually do, I'd bet Blingston gonna be a stronghold again. Given enough time, it will rise again. Then, with his usual glint in his eyes, he adds, and if you lot ever make it up there, I'll give you a personal tour. But, he points a finger at you, you're paying for the drinks.
Oh, if there's a wine, I will gladly pay for the first round.
Not of the grape variety for the most part. You'll have to go to Dareth Menthol for that. Big old capital trade hub not too far away from here. Wine, I suppose you can get the green kind, you know, the more fungal variety.
It just sounds repulsive.
Can be.
Green wine. Oh.
And a quiet taste. So, Gizmo, what you gonna do when you reach the surface?
What am I gonna do when I reach the surface? Well, I'm going to report back to the authorities at Candlekeep about the demon incursion here, and see if there's anything we can do to help.
I'll see if me and my folks can help. Of course, you pat our backs, we'll pat yours. First, we gotta see what sort of shape the city is in.
It sounds like you are having a rough time taking care of yourselves. I hope we can help.
We manage. At home, it's still recovering. Drow raids, monsters about, and God knows what else awaits us. But we are hardy folk. We've been through worse. And at the end of the day, it's all worth it. We don't regret what we've done. Housing that exile from Renzo Baranzan was a good deed. And we made history on that year. The war that followed, the casualties, tragic. But all for the greater good.
If my history serves me correctly, you went to the aid of Mithril Hall, is that correct?
Aye.
Did the dwarves come and help you when the drow attacked your settlement?
It was a united alliance, a glorious fight. We gnomes, we're harder on our own. We can ambush from the shadows, meld into stone, shape the very earth to make soldiers out of clay and stone to fight beside us. Our gems, enchanted with magic so powerful, it contests the mages of Sorcerer. He uses an elvish word, Sorcerer, and from what you can recall from your studies of Menzo Berenzan, is a sort of an academy to rival Candlekeep and other wizard schools and such. Sorcerer being the one in Menzo Berenzan. And the gnomes, using their magic, contested them in turn. The conversation goes on in this sort of spirit as he tells you more about his home, answering any questions you might have, but then again, it has been a while since he's been home, since he's been captured by the drow and brought all the way to Velkenvelf, so he's not too sure about recent development.
Well, my friend, home is home, and we will help you get there, and you have proven a true friend, and we will do what we can for you and your people. I'm sure of it.
He nods. As we journey on forward, whoever's leading the group, whoever is sort of navigator, go ahead and make me a survival check, please. Utilizing your map and such, try not to get lost taking the expeditious path, since you guys chose the fast pace to cover more ground. As fast pace as you can manage, what with Myconids and such. Who would
Well,
like
I
to...
don't know, jump up at once. I'll do it.
Yeah.
What am I giving you? I'm sorry.
Survival check if you want to help navigate.
Survival.
As we sort of journey throughout these days, 16, 12, however long it's going to take you guys, depending on whether or not you get lost and such, you can navigate, you can forage, you can do other things as you journey, because hours, days come to pass. But as Bazarak aids the party, you keep true to your heading every now and then, checking the map to match various landmarks, until finally, as your steeders, your spider mounts, begin to slow down with exhaustion, and you start feeling saddle sores coming on, you make it to a place suitable for a long rest by the surroundings. Giving it a quick scout, you can see this small cavern is covered in patches of slime and yellow mold, but it is otherwise silent, empty, and almost peaceful.
Well, if we're looking to make camp, this would be a pretty good spot. My ass is getting a little chopped. But, if we're looking to get through this as fast as we can, might want to push through.
Pushing
How,
through won't make any difference now. We better rest.
Well then, fine. Ain't gotta tell me twice. And he just takes the reins, hop downs from the spider mount, stretches, scratches his butt. Right there. That looks like a good spot. And just points over to like, kind of close to the Myconids, you know, in the drier, no slime area.
Do we to clear an area because this cavern is covered in slime and mold?
Absolutely.
Yeah, fuck it, we'll clear that out.
Yeah, Glabs, please, make camp.
Eric doesn't even get off the spider until enough of the area has been cleared for him to like stand.
What do you need me to do?
Use
Slurp it up.
Yes.
Okay.
I have heard that in some lands they call it vacuum.
After a maybe 10-minute period, he clears like a 10 by 10 like circle section sort of thing and begins to slow down. And you look, and his eyes go like a little bit crossed, and he squints a little bit, and he's like, "I'm not feeling so good." You've never seen an ooze get sick, but he begins to sort of slow down and not be able to consume more as you begin to see more of this sort of lichen seep into his system and begin to like spread throughout his insides.
That's enough, Glavable.
You
Clank, you
I didn't.
help out.
usually
Try
like
to get
whatever makes it
Clank
inside Glabagool, you always see it like melt in the acid of his innards, but it's not digesting at all. Eventually just vomits it out in a different section of the cave. Oh, and then just goes like to stamp down somewhere like prone.
I've never seen anything not get melted by Glabagool's acid before.
That's a truly amazing.
Well, except for
I've
metals.
never known of that either. Clank,
is there-
use a broom, clean up some of that area over there so we can make camp. Will you?
Clank. You have a broom?
Yeah.
No, not. I have no actual broom. Find something to use. Branch, bush, shrub, something. No?
He looks around. There's like a bunch of little zirkwood saplings growing here and there on the edge of the cave, so that you can just sort of break off the stalk and just sort of split it into like a sort of a rod of solid bark that he used to scrape some of the moss and make a campsite. That he just sort of gathers all of this mold into a pile. It's still there, but it's scraped off the section of rock and stone that makes the floor of this cavern, enough to make space for any bedrolls or other encampment equipment that you might have on you. And you'll be sleeping next to this
Mostly
heap
just-
of yellow mold. Yeah,
Mostly just rock on the floor then?
rock, soil intermingled. Yeah, rocky ground, shell.
Okay. In that case, I'll selfless step and say, allow me if Glabagool can't take care of this. And with a combination of shape water, I might be able to find some water to clean some stuff off with, and then I'll also use mold earth to kind of like make us like at least like a raised platform to kind of like sleep on some clean earth that's not covered in slime and mold and everything like that.
Upturring the earth, you have a nice clean platform to set up your camp on.
We should.
Well, that
Check
was a
the-
good trick.
Yeah.
Checking the stuff that Glab was eating, can I identify what if it's like any special kind of moss?
It's a yellow mold. You can rule me a nature check, I suppose.
Oh, okay. 10.
You know it's not edible from having observed the obvious, and with a 10, I'll give you a slight hint here. It seems to shy away from... Does anybody carry light sources? Or are you guys just walking around in the dark?
Eric will
I'm
have
a
dark
dark
vision. Oh,
Yeah, a small light sources. I have like a pin, a flashlight 10 feet away.
A pin flashlight. From your light source, your magic light source, the moss seems to almost like crawl away and shy away from, retreating into itself and sort of molding in the other direction, walking sentient. Crawling between different
Now, why
rock cracks
didn't-
and such.
Now, why didn't we think of that in the first place? We could have just lit some torches.
It's no too late. And I guess, well, does Zirkwood, does that stuff burn? If
It's equivalent
ignited?
to lumber, so yes, it's very much flammable.
Alright, yeah, so I guess, I'll bring some of that over and ignite it.
Hmm.
If it seems like that's gonna help.
Got some torch stalks if you want. Clean out a bigger area.
Do you just
Those are
like
the ones that
light a
explode,
piece of
correct?
the wood and just toss it into the heap?
Well, no,
Uh,
I'd probably collect some and make like a little bonfire if it, especially if it looks like any of that yellow slime mold is gonna creep back in.
Mhm.
So
Okay, so making a bonfire where the light heat and the heat radiate out, you can see a lot of that mold between the cracks of rocks and places that are hard to get with your water spell and the upturned earth and everything just shrivels away, becomes gray, and loses all moisture and just becomes nothing but like sooty ash. It's hypersensitive to heat. You feel the air itself clear too. Your breathing becomes a lot lighter as you get an idea of like, should you have like slept in proximity to this mold, it would have eventually accumulated in your system. It's a good thing that you sort of begin to sort of purify the air around you. Bonfire, any camping stuff you guys have, you can set those up. Your companions don't have anything because they don't. So Ginger just sort of rolls up into a fetal position and becomes another boulder against a rock, cuddling against the fire for heat.
Could make some nice tiki torches, maybe.
Sure. If you take the hour to sort of craft those, you'll be able to craft like a whole 10 of them. Set up a nice like ring circle around you guys, and they'll burn for like a couple hours, maybe 3. As you guys set up camp, do you guys want to set up any watches, or do you want to just sleep through the night? Cavern seems quiet, but you never know.
Well, since Clank does not require any sleep and cannot be surprised, I will instruct him to stay on watch and alert me, wake me, if there's any indication of other creatures or people about any danger.
I'll stay up for a while too and keep an eye out, just in case, maybe there's a different color slime mold that's not allergic to heat.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just stay up for a little bit.
Jeff, just FYI, going into future sessions, I want to make something very clear. You roleplay your own Steel Defender, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can give you like outcomes of different roles, but he's still like your character. So if you ever want to take over, you're more than welcome to. Okay, cool. So as the party then settles down for a long rest, exhaustion quickly overcomes you. And those of you who want to sleep or meditate, drift off into sleep, you can see Aranis joins Shushar in a sort of meditative stance as the both of them sort of close their eyes, clasp their hands together, each, and begin to sort of trance. A lot of you wants to sleep and long rest. You drift into a deep slumber. The chamber is quiet. Those of you stay up. Hear the occasional drip of water echoing throughout the darkness.
I just wait until everyone goes to sleep, and then for some reason, and this just could because I don't like Wolverine Bongle from BG3, but I use Detect Thoughts on Jim Jar if he's sleeping right there. I want to know
Side
what
note
this guy
too.
dreams about.
Whenever you feel tired, you can wake up Boz, because he's definitely going to get up at some point. He's never going to let his guard down at night.
Or whatever time it is. But just before you go to sleep, Bowser, you check on your flower, and it's still in its like yellow, white, and cyan bud, still unblossomed. You cast your spell of Detect Thoughts, gleaming over his surface thoughts. And through images, almost telepathic in their nature, Jim Jar's dream unfolds in the dim, familiar darkness of dawn, dark before you. And something feels off. Through his mind, you see he finds himself standing at the entrance of a sprawling tunnel city. Trenches of stone illuminated by green and pink torches. Lincolnston, his home. But it glows more vibrantly than ever before, almost in like a psychedelic effect, as dreams might have. You see like jagged stone walls shimmer with like veins of silver and gemstones, glittering like treasures waiting to be claimed. Every corner of the city is like bustling with like laughter and song and memories of the past. Now warm golden light streams from like every window, almost like sunlight in its ethereal glow in this dreamscape. But suddenly Jimjar feels an overwhelming urge to place a bet. Something big. A wager that could change everything. And in his dream, he flips this gleaming coin high into the air, and it spins slowly, catching the light in like mesmerizing arcs. And as it descends, Jimjar realizes the stakes are higher than he thought. Faces around him grow distant, fading into like shadows. His winnings begin to pile up. Gold, jewels, magical trinkets, but with each new treasure, the city around him loses its warmth. The laughter dies, the light dims, and a cold, creeping darkness swallows Blingstone's vibrant streets. You see him greedily collect these treasures, trying to stop himself, but the hands just keep on moving on their own volition, and he can't stop. The bet is in motion, his hands won't stop reaching for more. The last flicker of light fades, and Jimjar stands alone in this silent, treasure-filled void. Not much unlike the space from which we came from, the ever-infinite void of the ethereal, not ethereal, the plane of the astral. And there he stands, clutches his last coin tightly, unsure whether it's a victory or a loss. That's the sort of vibe you're getting from the spell. Surface thoughts. Heart racing, cold sensation.
I don't know what to do about that, but... Okay, so after a minute goes by, I'm gonna wake up Bazarak. Like, I changed my mind, I'm going to sleep.
I didn't even close my eyes yet. Fine. I'll take shift.
Sorry.
So he just like starts like
Sorry,
getting his blanket
it's so
undone.
dumb in my head. How not? It's like, no, I'm tired. Max, you take over. Sorry, this just got me tickled. Go on, sorry.
He's just like grumbling. He's just like,
Yeah.
he just told me he's gonna go to sleep and doesn't.
Fucking bullshit.
So yeah, Boz will come up and then he's just gonna kind of tinker and just like clean his revolver that he has, and just kind of does like a quick little 1-2. He does like a little bit of a roving guard here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Sees what Clank is doing, you know.
What is Clank doing?
So Clank is basically standing still. His head, which is a big disc, is just kind of slowly rotating 180 degrees around and then 180 degrees back.
I imagine it
kind
like
of,
a
you know,
like a water sprinter, just
Yeah. except slow and smooth.
Yeah.
Without the jerkiness.
like a submarine
and
sonar. Yeah.
Yeah, and occasionally it'll maybe catch a sound or a glint of something. It'll stop and you'll see like it's essentially its mechanical eye kind of focus or extend
Just
out a
lock
little
on
bit.
a stray bat and just trail it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then go back. And if he does anything unusual does come up, I'm happy to roll for it. So
Like one of the stray bats in his ceiling just flutters really close to Gizmo for a second, just through his vision. You can see it go red and just destroy. Just zaps the bat out of the air. Yeah.
danger, Gizmo Gadgetini. Danger.
Cool. Can I get both Buzz and Clank to roll me perception, please?
Sure.
25 from Bazarak. Jesus. Who are on top of it.
Sorry, did not have Clank's sheet open, so let me do that.
Just roll me a d20. It's all good. I'll take whatever modifier you have afterwards. I just want to get to the job. I mean, we have a 25 on the table, so unless you roll like a natural 20 or some shit, then. But Baz, how long do you want to stay up? By the way, like, you feel good. Dweger pulled long shifts. You can benefit from your long rests if you get a good 6 hours of sleep, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. Just being outside of the city and I'm
Right.
just staying busy, like I said, with the tools and just singing like not songs because they're not like a jovial like arts people, but it's more like what you would hear like in the forges working, like a nice like cadence, like if you were beating a hammer and stone. He's just kind of
Like those
singing low
sailor
to himself.
shanties to keep you working. It's in
Yeah, it's like what the army would have,
Yeah.
like just like a very like in rhythm.
I don't know
you know.
what I've been told. This bullshit's getting pretty old. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. I don't know any armor stuff. I wasn't in the army. That's you. Fair enough. I got you. And I'm going to just say that Clank is keeping a very good watch over everything. So his system is a little bit overstimulated, whereas he keeps watch of any stray animals, a bat here, a little lizard linked there, just keeping everybody safe, gauging. You never know what's dangerous. There's a spider that looks a little bit too sus, maybe it's poisonous, so he just like chases it away from time to time. Meanwhile, Badrak is actually focusing on what's important. Maybe you're not sure how much time passes because it's hard to keep time here, unless you have some means of keeping time. But you're getting kind of groggy, kind of sleepy, and you feel yourself sort of drifting off, but keeping awake just not enough. Thinking to yourself, maybe I should wake up the others to take over, when the other slumber is abruptly interrupted by this acrid smell that you're detecting. You smell smoke, the crackling sound of burning wood, or dirt wood, and you see it first, and the rest of the party will also probably detect this smell and wake up groggy and disoriented. You awaken to find what Bazrak can see is a plume of smoke filling the air and the harsh glare of flickering flame from like around the corner, like maybe like around one of those like stalactite teeth that pull from the ground. They block the source of the flames, but you can clearly see it.
Is there any noise coming with it?
Yeah, like crackling
or any
flame.
shadows that are being okay.
With a 25 perception, I'm gonna say that you see multiple shadows of small gnome-like creatures, maybe. Judging by their silhouettes, dashing just past the fire to cast a very brief series of shadows, one after the other, and just a pitter patter of like just bare feet on stone.
Okay. And you said the rest of the party's going to start smelling that and kind of awaken and everything?
Yeah, you notice at first the rest of the party is sort of waking up groggy. Yeah.
Yeah, so having his heightened senses and everything, he turns into a werewolf, and he kind of gets low on all four, and he kind of sticks like one arm up to kind of like help his nose kind of open, and kind of gets a little bit of sticks his face up into the air. And then he starts he gets like this low kind of stance and everything, like very stealthy. And as he makes his way to the party and kind of sees people just kind of rolling up out of their blankets and everything, he's going to go up to Eric. And he kind of just gets low and very close to his face. Wake up! Somebody's here. Get that sand out of your eyes.
Eric was already kind of starting to feel groggy from like the smoke and stuff, and like maybe he still had his eyes closed as he was like doing one of those things where it's like you wake up but you don't want to acknowledge that you've woken up, and then he hears Bazarak sort of like growlingly whisper into his ear. And he opens his eyes, sits up.
Hot dog breath in your face.
Yeah. We gotta get you a chew toy, a little chew mint. He's just gonna turn around really quick as he kind of holsters the pistol into his his waistband. Grab the others. And he's gonna start going to the source, and then he's gonna start kind of low prowling to where the flame is and starting to make his way around it to get a view on what's coming up.
Trying to make a noise yourself, your keen hearing picks up like susurrations, cackling whispers, these little as in from like distant shadows, and the way like the whole like chamber is shaped, it seems to be like echoing from a distance towards you. And as you round a corner, the heat of the fire is intense, and the smell of burning provisions is overpowering. The source of the commotion becomes apparent. Your carefully organized supplies, foodstuff, and equipment are piled together into a large heap and engulfed in flames.
Oh no. Not good. Your gear.
So I know Clank's perception was a 10. Is he able to see and respond to any of this yet?
Of course. The whole party can see and respond to this at this time, yeah.
Okay. So Clank will have trod on over to Gizmo and thumped on his chest a few times to make the noise to wake Gizmo up, because he doesn't actually have a voice. So he'll thump himself a few times and then try to shake Gizmo awake.
Like an alarm bell. By the way, the whole voice thing, you're the artificer, you can give him a voice. You can give him like 1 or 2 words, I think. But project for later. Like a ringing bell, he resounds out.
Seeing that the gear is on fire, immediately like ears perked. You know, like how dogs like get like intimidated or like they get a little mean and like the little tuft of hair like starts to poke up. He's gonna go like that, so he's gonna actively start to like hunt for who's around right now and take vengeance on it. So who can he see?
So as your gear is on fire.
I would like to do we
Yeah,
have like a larger source of water or something like that? Because I'd like to use shape water to
whatever water you
extinguish
carry
it.
for drinking is what people have. As you sort of get that collected, Bazarak, what you see with a 25, I'll give this to you. On top of that, roll me investigation with advantage because you were also higher in your perception.
Investigation. 20.
Not
Well,
20 for
natural 20.
well, 19 because skill checks. As your gear is still burning and the party is rushing to try and either take out the flames and such, you look about. Among the ashes of some of the already burned stuff, you find small, scaly footprints leading away from the scene. The footprints are only a few inches long. It's tiny, suggesting that the culprits were indeed kobolds. In addition to the footprints and trinkets, you discover tiny, barely perceptible claw marks on some of the burnt items. The claw marks are consistent with those of kobolds, indicating that they were the ones handling the supplies. And you detect this other scent, not your gear, sulfur, faintly lingering. A common trait of kobold presence due to their affinity with fire and traps. As you thoroughly look around, sniffing about, trying to detect the culprits, you find the kobolds had used a crude but effective method to set a fire, remnants of flammable substance, an oily accelerant of some sort, which was used to ignite the pile very quickly. So they're not rumbling about, making noise. This was set in a moment, and then they left in a hurry as fast as they arrived. And it seems one of them has actually dropped something. You find a piece of parchment with like a drawing depicting a tiny draconic figure kissing the feet of a much larger red dragon. Scribbled on the same parchment is a message that reads, "Me love Big Boss."
Is the image a fat red dragon or a normal red dragon?
Oh yeah, he's a fat boy.
Oh my gosh.
As he's like reading this and sees the image and everything and how crude it is and how just so shitty these little lizards are, he just takes and he like crumples it with like one hand. And seeing the trail that they went off to, and just being from the Underdark, he knows that would just lead to him getting trapped and everything. So he's gonna go back and try to help put out the fire as quick as he can and try to gather them and get everyone on their feet and get going.
All right. How do you put out the fire?
I'm just gonna start kicking dirt and shit, whatever I can have.
Smothering it with dirt.
How? Yeah, is this like is the fire pretty big right now, or is it like?
It's bigger than a campfire because it's essentially all your backpacks and whatever your stuff that you didn't directly wear on you, sneakily piled together, like just smothered in some sort of flammable sauce and ignited like that. So it's pretty.
Oh, I'm gonna use a blanket.
Yeah, medium to large size fire.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna get a blanket to try to smother it and put dirt on it. Take whatever it looks unharmed or is least harmed, and then try to take it out from the pile and try to slowly chip at it.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw. This is you putting your hands in the flame and just firemanning your stuff out. Yeah, you bear with the pain. You take a measly D4 of damage, just for sake of flavor here, of fire damage. Nothing. You shrug it off. 3 fire damage as you take all the stuff and just spread them out into small fires and smother them out with dirt, blankets, whatever you find. If you wish to spend some of your drinking water, that will expedite the process. You guys lose, whoever's tracking food, you lose 14 pounds of food to the flame in the time it took you to react and stuff. And each of you, please, check your inventory. For the 5th item in your inventory, skipping any magical items, that items get destroyed in fire.
Oh, well, I used a blanket, so...
Yeah, that
makes
tracks. So that's like your blanket bedroll, yeah? I just want to know what you guys lost. Good.
My fifth... Sorry, Gizmo's 5th item was 50 feet of hempen rope.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That
That
was
would,
candles.
yeah, it's stuff that burns up quick.
It seems my alchemical supplies.
Yeah, burst glass vessels and such, just destroyed beyond recovery. Self-lost bedroll. Cloth burns up real quick. All in all, could have been worse.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly could have been, yeah.
Did he dragged me on my bedroll over and tried to light me on fire too?
Well, I mean, then that wouldn't make sense. If you were in it, obviously they wouldn't drag you in, unless they want to set you on. Nah. I mean, it's not funny. You're just waking up to your bedroll on fire.
Fast. They put me on top of all the stuff. I'm okay with it.
Some of the embers jump from fire and it'll lick your bedroll, and you're like, ooh, hot feet, hot feet. Okay, that's funny. Could have been worse. Those amongst you who walk around the now sort of smoldering and ashy remains, you find a message traced in the ash, away from the fire. The crude writing, barely legible but unmistakable in its intent, and reads, "In his name."
Bastards.
For the filthy little rats. Because that oversized worm just can't fucking handle not being in charge. I don't get what's coming to him.
Didn't he be dead already?
Clank, I cannot believe you didn't wake me sooner. How could you let this happen?
Try as you might, even with a 25, you can't find other traces of the perpetrators. As quickly as they arrived, they have vanished in the shadows. Cackles in the distance, no, nothing.
Are the Steeders fine?
Yeah,
Okay, just making sure.
they have made little floor webs for themselves, but they have not been touched.
Aye, maybe we should do this next time. Set camp. Make sure we put all of our gear inside of the webbing that they can make. Put it up high so it's harder to get. Should have thought of that first. Fuck.
Is webbing
Interesting
flammable?
idea.
I mean, this shit's flammable. At least it's up off the ground, mate. Those little fucking bad. Look, maybe we can catch him still. You up for some hunting?
No, you're tired.
I don't think it's a very good idea. They did what they came for. They've given us a message from that fat dragon back in Gracklestug. What's his name? Yeah, that one.
Alright,
Thembershot. If this is the worst that Thembershard will do to us, I think we get off luck.
Thembershad should be dead by now.
Oh, he should have been.
Likely
Something's
he gave.
going on.
Likely he gave these kobolds instructions the day we left Gracklestug without meeting with him, and they're just now caught up to us.
This is flap to us. Should be chasing them down and choking them out. But where there's one, there's also 10.
Yes, in the back. If
I wonder
my
is
memory
there
serves
is
me
100.
correctly- Yes, if my memory serves me, they delight in setting traps. I don't think we should go running off into the darkness, giving pursuit. Who knows what they have in store for us out there? We are safer here.
I disagree. They're gonna keep doing this to us every day we're out here. Keep tailing us. Keep putting traps. Burning our shit. I want to end it.
Then perhaps tomorrow night we set the trap for them before we turn in.
We could sleep with our gear, with all of our stuff.
You did.
It's less comfortable.
Fine.
Well, we make Globagul turn into a big tent. We put everything inside of him.
What?
Yeah, like he could, like a bubble, like a Globagul bubble.
Global
We'll
bubba.
destroy everything. And you can't fit everything.
Yeah, and I think that would be a bad idea for our food supplies.
Global just goes, I can do that?
Yes, well, obviously you've never heard of ceviche before.
Sounds delicious.
Even with my rounds, they were still able to get through me and everything. I couldn't hear anything.
We need to rest at some point. I mean, we took all the time to get the slime out of here. Hey, what if we do this? And I'll use mold earth to dig up a 5-foot section. Like, we put everything in there, I cover it up.
And I sleep on it.
As long as they don't get to it again, I don't care what gets done. Hoist it high, put it low.
That's a good idea, hiding
Gotta
it in the
sit
ground.
on it.
Sounds like a
Why,
plan.
but don't they tunnel? What if they tunnel to it?
How would they
They got
find
little claws.
How would they know where it
Well,
is?
they couldn't just light it on fire. They'd have to dig to it at least. I mean,
Hopefully the next scout sees them before they actually set it on fire.
Throwing shade and pass.
Oh, you got something to say?
Rolling 25 over
You
here.
got something to say, mate?
For the record, says the sword, its flame flickering with each word. I did not see them either. And I never sleep, ever vigilant.
I should just stick that sword right into the ground. And boom. 360-degree cover.
I've been in worse places, I suppose.
Ah, see, there you go. Alright. Whose turn is it? I'm done.
Right.
yes, I already took my turn as well.
What?
Better.
Boz writes that down in his little book.
This
I'm just saying that-
grimoire of grievances,
I'm just
Yeah,
saying
it's a
nothing
little
happened.
book. It's a little book of grudges.
grudges. Yeah.
I kept the safe on my watch. Nothing happened when I was on watch. That's all I'm saying. But
Like, it was less than a minute.
yes,
I
it
don't
was
deny.
safe.
I was
You
open
were-
for the last few hours.
And when during that minute we were completely safe, I owned the night. Yes.
Jim just says, to be fair, he is making up for 100 years of vigilant isolation.
I
I'm still writing it
haven't
down.
slept in a while, so all right. Right, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, I'm open to other ideas. I could bury it, but you're right, they do tunnel. So
You unbury your things in the morning, and it's just a hollow hole with like tunnels leading out in every
it's just a
single
tunnel
direction.
leading out. Yeah.
I'd be so pissed.
Welcome back to level 1. You have nothing.
Being
Okay.
just a tiny bit paranoid, he's just gonna stick like a couple extra things on him. He just takes like his water skin, and he, like, as he goes to sleep, like he has his arms crossed and he's like crossed, holding all of like some
Yeah.
of his stuff.
No, wait.
No, my.
Jim Jar has a
touch.
wicked idea, and he smirks. What if we booby trap stuff? You know, with the pyramid bomb, and we just sort of set it, so if anybody approaches our stuff, it just goes off.
But we're gonna lose all of our stuff, mate.
And if we sleep next
Wait.
to it, our heads to Ginger.
Are you talking about the
Yeah.
Intuit charge?
Yeah, the thing that fucks up
That's
your
honestly
minds.
not a bad idea. It's honestly not a
Oh.
bad idea. It wouldn't
How
do
much-
any damage to objects.
How about we could make some pit traps with some of the Zerkwood. I could, like dig pits with sharp spikes underneath. Get some Punji traps going.
We're gonna Vietnam this shit.
Oh yeah. I'm pooping on those spikes first.
Goblin tactics. Right?
Extra poison damage.
This is.
You got a way of creating like illusions or something, making it look like all of our stuff in gold and everything, and then we put the Inuit charge in that, and then we just keep an eye on it, and we just detonate it.
I admire your commitment for this to not be repeat, but the intuit charge range is too vast for us to escape.
Well, don't
If we're planning
put
to
us
run.
in the range. Put us outside of the range.
Okay, well, we can always
don't-
leave
don't
our
think
stuff.
we-
It is a giant
we-
range, though.
Okay.
Do we
Would be
really
very
want
far
to
away.
potentially use this very high explosive item for
To
little
kill one
kobold?
kobold.
I just
You're
want to kill some
ridiculous.
kobolds.
And
I
to
can't
destroy our
stand the
stuff?
creatures.
It's like this is best controlling high scale.
Gizmo, buddy, gnome to gnome. I thought you'd be in on this with me. You know, they're kobolds. I mean, come on.
They're kobolds. They should not require a giant bomb to take them out.
The bigger the better, I say. But you know what? You do you. I won't press it. Fucking
A hard
kobolds.
slap would take out the kobold. We don't need a bomb.
Mm.
I'd feed that bomb right to that dragon if I could right now.
I think we have
Alright, look, just bury the fucking shit. I'm over this. I want to go back to sleep.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Bob. I'll stay watch. Whoever wants to join me can join me. And I don't know, I'll wake up the, some of the myconoids and have them come over here and sort of form a little mushroom ring around us and keep guard. How does that sound?
No,
I get it done.
like just put
That
things
sounds fun.
together, and I'll put something. We will get not unadvised, notified something happens to it. So
Sure. Isabel can lace it with like a string of alarm spell, and any unwelcome hands will send a little signal, a mental note to yourself. Sounds like a plan. Throughout the rest of the long rest, to expedite a little bit, thanks to your spell, to your alarm spell, whatever thieving hands might have come back in the night to the scene of the crime. Do not lay a tiny little pause upon your things. No alarm sounds, and the rest of you complete your shifts and sleep soundly through a long rest, and you get the full benefit out of it. The burns upon your hands, Bazarak, get mended. Some of Basidia's loyal myconids come morning will help offer you some of their salves and medicine that they have upon them as you partake in a sort of a group breakfast amid the myconids and Shushar and Jimjar and all your companions. As we have end of long rest, characters consume 1 pound of food and 1 gallon of water to avoid the effects of exhaustion. I will have you guys determine the travel pace, the marching order, and any light sources for the coming day of travel.
And at the end of this long rest, Gizmo will use one of his new infusions. He will spend some time putting an infusion on a signet ring that he has had with him, and will now have a ring of spell restoring.
Spell storing or spell restoring?
It's
It restores spell slots?
it restores 1 spell slot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, of 3rd level or lower. Spell
Very nice.
refueling. Sorry.
Refueling. Nice. Sounds good. I wonder if I can even find a handout for that. But I guess I will find later.
I can.
No, it's okay. I trust you. Okay.
As far as travel pace, I say we go double.
Double time, fast speed, no problem. You'll be a little bit less perceptive on the road for any ambushes and such, but you'll be covering more ground. Foraging will be impossible, but honestly, you'll be compensated with whatever food the myconids can share, what we manage to sort of scrounge up from the grove. Marching order wise, I just want to know who's in front leading the group, who's helping navigate.
I did it yesterday. Someone else take it.
I'll go with my construct, so yeah.
Sounds good. You're
say,
joined by Shushar, who's sort of excited to be near water again, as you guys are reaching the Dark Lake at this point. Okay. Sounds good. Did you want to say something, Gizmo?
no, I was going to volunteer to go first, but Isabel got it, so that's cool.
You can join Isabel and Shushar, I don't mind. The cavern is wide enough for you guys to walk shoulder to shoulder, especially with your minute size.
Yeah, then I'll riding abreast Isabel on the back of Clank. Gizmo will join you guys up front.
Sounds good. And Big Boy just behind your steeder there. I was going to have Shushar aid you with navigation, but I think it's only fair I give you guys that limelight. Isabel and Gizmo, go ahead and roll me that survival check against the effects of getting lost.
Those navigators tool give us a he knows his shit. I'm trying to create a map and he's like, no man, in this direction.
Navigator tools can aid you in the sense of like following stars or measuring distance on the map, sure. But honestly, you guys are already getting sort of advantage from helping one another, so only one source of advantage. However you want to flavor it. Nonetheless, 20 without modifiers. I don't know if you have modifiers, but
Nope.
you're certainly not
Straight
lost
0.
as you maintain heading toward where Aranis last recalled the beacon was. As the party navigates the winding tunnels and damp chambers of the Underdark, the environment over the course of hours begins to shift. The fungal growths become more sporadic, and black sand of the Dark Lake becomes more apparent throughout. Crystalline formations embedded in the walls cast like an eerie, refracted glow over the scene, and the air itself grows cooler, carries the faint scent of brackish water and rotting algae-like smell. The path eventually leads you, the party, and your companions to a secluded shore along a large dark lake. Here, amidst the decay and the detritus, you spot in the distance, first Isabel, then Gizmo, then the rest of you, a small sort of, I want to say, encampment, if you will. Let me see. Put a little image here, why not? Just so we're looking at something. Tattered remnants of fishing nets and makeshift shelters indicate that this is a haven for those that survive and now make a living here. Amid the survivors, Shushar's keen eyes quickly pick out familiar shapes. Kuotoa, younglings, a ragtag group of them, children and teenagers, that have fashioned crude shelters and gathered what little they could have to survive. Their eyes, wide and searching, momentarily reflect the soft glow of the various embedded crystals throughout. And you see Shushar's face, usually serene and calm, now wears a profound expression of recognition as he steps forward. His voice carries the weight on his heart. "My kid," he calls out in sad relief. "It is I, Shushar. I had hoped, I had long searched for any who may yet live after the calamity of our home." You see the young Koto, initially unsure, quickly recognizes the familiar figure of Shushar. Their hesitance melts away, replaced by a flood of relief and joy. You see one of the older teens, a Koto with like a makeshift staff, steps forward. "Shushar, you survived the attack." And he nods gravely, his gaze scanning the young faces before him. "Yes, though not without loss. I see you have managed to hold to a miracle. It is a miracle." The conversation shifts as the survivors eagerly recount their tale, embrace. They speak of the destruction of Sloop the Loop, the chaos, and their desperate fight to safety. Despite their harrowing experiences, their spirits remain unbroken. They speak of dreams of rebuilding, of finding a new place where they might begin anew. And as Shushar listens, you can see a sense of beauty begin to sort of overtake him. He turns to the party, as well as the Myconids traveling with you. "These young ones need guidance, protection, leadership. They are too young to bear the weight of survival alone." How do you react?
Eric has visible shock on his face, and as Shushar talks, he sort of composes himself and says, "I can't believe there are survivors from Sloop the Loop. I'm happy to see, though, that they're rebuilding and recovering. Are you sure you'll be okay staying here with them?"
Do not know. I can't leave them. Not alone. Not after all this. To find them alone was a miracle. Oh, how glad I am that we made this choice, this path. I think this is the destiny I was chasing all along. I have survived much, and I thank you for the journey you have offered me. But I cannot follow you to the surface. I think this is what I want. For myself and those willing to stay here. He points toward your companions and the company you keep. You see the Myconids having grown fond of Shushar over the course of its journey and recognizing the value of a harmonious existence. Some of them express their willingness to help, to stay. The Myconid Sprout, Sul, and the more reserved Rumpadump exchange glances of agreement.
Will you both stay then? Gizmo addresses the Myconids.
Through their telepathic spore connection, you can sense their eagerness to help Shushar, their friend, who they've been traveling for days now with. They too cannot follow you to the line of the Sunblight, for it is spelling doom to them. It is death. Here, they might find life anew, some distance away from Neverlight Grove, for a time. You cannot prevent the Demon Queen's return and spread, but until help comes, this will serve as a place of sanctuary for them.
This looks like the safest place out of any that I've seen on this trip so far. And so things... Some places away from Gracklestook. Might as well be here for you.
Yes?
We are still not all that far from Neverlight Grove, and you know of the dangers that are there. Or would you feel we are a safe distance away?
The Demon Queen's reach is far, far farther than 2 days' journey. Truly there is no escape from it. In time she will overwhelm all, spread throughout unless she is stopped.
Yeah.
This this camp of Kuatoa, are there the crystals? Are those literally there lighting up the area?
Yeah?
Are they like the same crystals that were in Sloopdaloop? Does it look like they were collected while people left?
Do you recall crystals in Sloop-de-Loop that I don't recall?
Yeah. Yeah, Eric picked up some crystals. They glowed.
Yeah, you didn't pick them up from Sloop-de-Loop, but they look similar to the ones you have in your possession.
Okay.
Well, then perhaps we'll see you on the journey
Eric
back.
will,
No, go ahead, mate. Say what you want.
go ahead.
Fine. If you decide to push into the Dark Lake further, give us a heads up. Give us some kind of sign, maybe. But when we return, if you're not here, well, we'll know where to find you then.
With much serenity, the Kuatoa nods in agreement. A sound plan. Stool, through his report spores, speaks. We will help them. My people know how to cultivate the land and fish. Together, we could make this place a safe haven. I think we'll stay. Together in number, we're safe.
Basidia?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, same thing with Basidia. Many of the Kuatoa agree to a harmonic sort of alliance with the Myconids to form a society here, a little settlement, find safety in numbers in this sort of symbiotic relationship. I will guide them, mentor them, says Shushar. Help them find a path to inner peace, and together, my friends, we shall build a new beginning here. Again, thank you, all of you, for everything. Though we part ways here, I will forever hold your memory in heart. Your story will not fade from the tides. That, I promise. I will begin to encapsulate the memory of your journey together by honoring our memory with a new name for this settlement. The choice of this name I leave to you, friends. For without your help, none of those here would be here now. What shall we call this new beacon of hope for my people?
Gizmo has a thought as he looks solemnly over to Aranis. And he says, Aranis, would you consider leaving your sister here to her final rest, and perhaps we could name this settlement Elara's Rest.
While he sees the kind sentiment in your words, he will not so easily give up on bringing her back to life. Her story does not end here. Their mission, their life, their family's legacy, the reason they came here in the first place, and what they're searching for does not end with one of them dying. He will bring her back. He will find the forces, be they good or benign or evil. He will find some way to bring her back. He will not give up. This is his quest. His oath.
I understand, friend.
By the way,
Why not just call it that?
I have to interject here. How is your sister's decomposition coming along?
He does not grace you with an answer to such a question.
I'm just concerned because we probably need to get wherever we're going to take care of that. So
Calmly, Aranis explains that while he has any remnant of her body, most of it intact, any mortal wounds will heal with a spell that he is looking to acquire. Any powers that may be they divine or infernal or anything he might find in between, will be able to mend her wounds and restore her back to full health. He is not willing to give up. Not so suddenly, not so. He did not come in to peace with having lost his sister.
since there's some water
How
here,
about-
I didn't mean to be indelicate here with this help, and then I'll use shape water to make an ice coffin. I don't know if this will preserve or if it's necessary, but it's there if you want it.
You're gonna Snow White, Ellara.
I mean, there was a lot of mushrooms growing out of her face, so I thought that maybe.
Eric sighs.
Rooming persuasion check. You have been so insistent that perhaps by repetition, by sheer what do you call it when you keep bashing your head against concrete wall over and over again until it breaks? By sheer not resilience, stubbornness, you might convince him. He is tired, grief tired physically from carrying the body. And perhaps some of your words come through to him. Will you keep her safe, he says, to Shushar and the others. And he's met with nods,
Rannis.
solemnly. Yes?
Wait, I thought Self was I didn't think Self was saying to leave Ellara here. I think Self was just suggesting a
Oh,
coffin to
yeah, I
hold
just
her.
wanted to keep her cold so that, she wouldn't decompose as fast. I didn't mean. I mean, we could. You could also leave her here, and then once we find out how to help her, we could come back and get her. Or bring her with. And I'd make some wheels on the coffin now out of ice, too.
So it's like a wagon.
He finds
Right, yeah.
wisdom in your words. Carrying the body might risk losing it. Something might happen to it. He might lose it to some cavern or abyssal crack in the floor, or some monster to burn up the body and destroy it altogether. At least here, surrounded by allies, friends he trusts, he will be able to keep her here until he finds means of resurrecting her to return here and bring her back to life. That, along with the suggested name of Elara's Rest, really drives to convince him. And so it comes to be. Elara's Rest. The Myconids and Kuto's younglings start to mingle, their initial wariness melting away as they begin to form a bond. The scene closes with Shushar, now a mentor to the young, to the survivors, and the Myconids discussing plans to enhance their new home here, gardening, fishing, and creating a semblance of safety and order. They'll be safe here, even from the drow pursuers, protecting one another. As you prepare to leave the shore, a feeling of hope and renewal lingers in the air. Shushar, now a central figure in the settlement, watches as you're ready to depart with a mixture of sadness and pride, knowing that he has made a meaningful difference. And thus concludes Shushar's story. The entire party receives inspiration.
Wow. Yay.
You have managed to make it so Stool, Rumpudup, and Shushar meet a happy ending here for the time being. But you still must secure their safety, for the Underdark, the world, soon to be under peril. Stool, Rumpudup, the Myconaids, and Shushar leave the party and remain here in the settlement. What would you like to do? Would you like to take a short break, it being 7:30? Or tread on?
I'm okay, personally.
I'm good to keep going. Can we get some food supplies from here before we go?
Yeah, I was going to say if we could refill some water, maybe replenish some food.
Yeah, if you can answer me how
Gizmo
much
would
food you
like
guys have
to-
on you already, just so I have a solid number to add to. And once you find out that
Good
information,
question.
anybody who wants to forage around can go ahead and roll me a foraging check. It's going to be a DC of 20 to forage near the Dark Lake and find anything that's edible rather than useful in
Oh.
other uses other than food.
Does Gizmo get to forage with advantage for his knowledge of mushrooms from reading that cooking
Yeah.
book earlier?
For sure. And I'm going to say this. If you hit the DC, you get to even choose what sort of a plant you find. And then I'll roll
forage,
for
we're doing
survival.
nature, survival.
Your pick, nature or survival. Either one will work for this. Survival
Well,
is just
definitely.
mostly like tracking down these things, and nature is like recognizing them as you pass by, so either really work. So you partial
Thank goodness
success.
for advantage.
Oh yeah, good thing it's advantage. Yeah, DC 20 success. Into darkness, and then fungi of the Underdark. You're foraging for food, right?
Yes. Assuming we can collect drinkable water.
So you find along the shore, in the shallows, a bunch of these bulbous fungus that, excuse me, oh my god, I'm sorry, that grows in like the shallow water. These orbs, water orbs, can be squeezed like a sponge, and then when you do, they yield like plenty of drinkable filtered water. And you manage to find enough filtered water to fill 12 gallons drinkable water. Food-wise, you walk around and you find along the rocks embedded in the shoreline in the black sand, growing upon them in shelf-like growths, this fungus that resembles a mass of rotting flesh, shiny and moist, but you recognize it from the book you've read. And you know this to be ripple bark. Ripple bark is a surprisingly edible substance, and it can be eaten raw, but it's better like it tastes a lot better when you like roast it. And you find several sheets of them, yielding 44 plus 6 pounds of food. Yeah. 20 pounds of food, 12 gallons of water is what you managed to forage with the knowledge that you had from the book.
Not a bad haul.
So awesome. Riffle bark.
Mhm.
Nice. Okay. Where are we tracking the food? Because I no longer see that.
It's in the thread.
And some reason that thread keeps going away on me.
Yeah, top right corner, you'll see like a little thread yarn and it says threads. And then it'll open it back up.
There we go. Thank you.
Neat. So as Gizmo gathers food and water for the group, do the rest of you wish to do anything? You can choose to long rest here. You can push exhaustion a little bit further and gather some more distance. I'm tracking that on my end.
Well, we were
I
moving
go
at
to
double
Shusha.
speed, right?
Yeah, you were moving at double pace.
Okay.
Not double, but fast as you could go.
Yeah, faster. Yeah.
Judging by the local landmarks and comparing to your map and stuff, you gauge you made about like 8 miles of distance all in all. But this is considering the fact that you guys are going through like winding tunnels that descend, ascend, and wind all throughout, snaking around the Underdark. So relatively, you're making good pace. Probably outpacing your pursuers.
All right.
I would approach Shushar and say, Shushar, before you leave, I need to ask something of you.
What is it?
I need you to find me a bedroll, fireproof one if it's available.
I suppose it is the least I can do to thank your group. Allow as rest provides. And speaking that fish tongue, Fizz people were just Fizz people, he organized a whole bunch of them, and within the span of like maybe 2-3 hours throughout a long rest, they weave together this like seaweed and hemp laced netting that weaves into like not cloth, but as close as possible to a comfortable weave into which you can sort of slither into, while it's slippery and wet on the inside, even though you try and dry it the best you can. It surprisingly retains some heat as you lie in there, and the mushiness of it, it's kind of comfortable. It's kind of like returning to the womb a little bit.
Okay. And the moisture makes it flame retardant, correct? Excellent work, Shushar.
Yeah, you just have to like water it now and then, but it really retains that water into itself without, inflicting that. You're warm-blooded, right? Your species, about too familiar with your people. Right. Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yes. Excellent work. And then if we're going into a long rest, I would like to gamble with Jim Jar, just a contest of rock, paper, scissors while I have detect thoughts going, so I could just wipe the boards with him. Bad luck there, Jim Jar.
I hate this game.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah, I say we should just long rest here then. It's
Okay.
safe, and we made good time.
And if we're gonna do the long rest, I'll use the time to try to grab one of the flashbangs.
The scintillating heartlight bombs.
That one, yes.
Sounds good. No problem. If you take the long rest over the course of that, you make yourself a little blinded by the light bomb there. A few of the Koto here, they don't trade so much in coin, but it's more like a barter system. So you might even be able to find some quality goods, some shells and stuff, and just trade knickknacks, whatever you wanted to leave behind as a gift for them to supply you with like the shelling for it, and intermingle with these. And you can truly see that most of these are indeed younglings and stuff, a few of the lucky survivors. For the night, you guys don't have to spend 1 gallon of food or water. They share their food with you. Mostly these like stingray-looking creatures that have been like splayed upon their nets to sort of like leather to dry out, and then they cut them to strips and sort of grill them. All throughout your stay, a lot of the Koto stay away from the light of your light sources, the bright light, especially that coming off the sword. But should you like sort of douse it and intermingle, you find a little peace in this crystal lit cavern. Every now and then a few of the children play around by tossing rocks onto those crystals that resonate with a high like ping that resonates every time the stone hits the crystal. And you initiate your long rest. After a long day of travel, you set up camp here, watching the cavern illuminate like stars as these fire beetles, but their fire being like of cyan and white flame, flit about dozens of them all throughout. Should you wish to take time, you can even capture some of them into like a whatever makeshift jar you have as a light source, but they fleet about you. Wary of the sabotage of your supplies the night before, always your plan to sort of hide your things?
What I was thinking, and I didn't share with the party, we can put most of our stuff in a bag of holding. At least small things like our food.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'll put the vulnerable valuables in there.
Sounds good.
Okay.
So we can say we've done that. You put it in a bag of holding. Do you want like alarm spell it too? You have spell slots for
alarm
it.
spell.
Keeping it safe. You
spell.
keep a more diligent watch this time, suspecting another attack. Yet hours come to pass without much of an incident. Who's taking first watch, if anybody?
I'll take first watch.
So Baz, as you sit there, go ahead and roll me a perception check, and if anybody wants to join him, you can roll a perception check as well. Did you want to say something, Gizmo?
Yeah, Gizmo's gonna have Clank join, but also he's going to use a magical tinkering feature that he has to imbue a rock with basically the sound of an alarm, so that he can give this to Clank, and if needed, Clank can just basically squeeze it and activate the alarm sound.
Sounds good. What is the sound of alarm? Are we talking like a siren or?
Yeah,
Silent
just
hill.
like a beep, 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 beep.
I
kind
would
of
like to
thing.
imagine it's just you recording yourself making that sound into the rock.
Exactly. Beep, 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 beep. Repeat.
For the first like hour of you guys trying to sleep, some of the Koto children just keep repeating that sound over and over again because they fucking love that. And they're fucking stupid. But eventually their teenage guardians come and silence them and get them to bed. Yeah.
Before, we start winding down and everything, I just want to say, I'm always going to be practicing with my mason tools. Just taking chunks of rock and then just breaking it off, just so I can start, building up proficiency with it over time. That's always going to be, my downtime activity whenever we stop.
Without a
And
teacher to teach you the actual skills, be it a book or an actual trainer, it's gonna take you weeks to do this. But you hone your skill nonetheless. By the end of your first hour, you manage to get the right angles in and be more proficient with it. So you're making progress, but it's gonna take you some time to actually get actual proficiency.
Yeah,
with
it's going
it.
to take time.
Yeah. It's more like a downtime activity thing, but I get you. As you're going throughout this activity, chipping away, some of the Kotoa who are still awake come and join you. They're finding peace in your work and they share their craft with you. Their crafts are beautiful. Zerkwood staffs that they shape in those almost like a Native American sort of like a fish figure, like these totem pools, if you could imagine, and various. In fact, I even have a handout of exactly what they show you, and they're trying to get you to sort of mimic that. As they share their creations with you, you can click on that image and zoom in to see what I'm talking about here.
Wow.
Yeah, there are various made-up gods, legends, stories of their families, their culture. They're trying to share it with you. A little piece of culture, something that makes you a very unique Dweger. Seeing as most Dweger would enslave these people, as far as you know.
I've been checking them out. They look like they could get stuff done. But we're not in Grappastook, it's fine.
You find a few hardy warriors among them. Many of the more grown-up specimens are walking about with their hooks and their various instruments, like these creatures are all about guarding, keeping watch with you for any would-be intruders. And then more eerily so, as you keep an eye out, with that perception check that you're still to roll, passively you sort of note that a lot of Kotoa sleepwalk. It's almost like they live in a land above the water, but still in it. Many of them walk in these groups, these schools of fish, if you will, just walking, wide-eyed, staring forward very slowly. But they're not all there. If you were to snap your finger at them or whatever, call them out, they're just not reacting and they just keep going, sleepwalking all around. Once again, you roll me that 25 perception check, keeping that keen eye for any would-be kobold fuckers.
Yeah.
Your watch is peaceful. Now and then, the rocks keep hitting those crystals, emanating that peaceful, chiming noise that is almost hypnotizing, lulling you to sleep. And some begin to drift into like uneasy sleep among you. So those of you who take the long rest. But you, Bazarak, you catch a strange rustling sound echoing throughout the cavern. It's subtle at first, you don't really notice it at first among all the activity throughout you, but then you pick it out, isolated. Barely more than a whisper against the ambient noise of this underdark cavern, and it grows louder, persistent, as though something is moving just outside, sending like the hair at the back of your neck sort of standing. And suddenly, small stones, pebbles, clutter from the ceiling, causing a brief panic among some of your companions. Land on their heads, and some of them land on around you. And for a moment, you look up, and you expect something to be there, like some descending monster, or perhaps the ceiling itself collapsing, a stalactite collapsing. But it grows quiet. What do you do?
Is it just like tremors and a little bit of rustling and?
No tremors, just rocks, pebbles being thrown from the very top of the ceiling. And the ceiling being like maybe 40, 50 feet up.
I'm looking to see what I might have or anything.
You squint up. Meanwhile, investigating the ceiling among the stalactites, you see a single figure, small, tiny, maybe like 2 feet in height, draconic outline, with like black cloth and crimson cloth wrapping it like a mummy, revealing only like the glint of its eyes. Everything else is just covered in this like mummy cloth of black and crimson, and it's like hoisted itself between 2 stalactites, just pressing its hands and feet between them, taking out a rock from the ceiling and just tossing it in your general direction, cackling.
I'm gonna shadow step up there and fuck him up.
Roll a hit.
Okay. But as I'm doing that, okay, he sees it.
Clank
you know
is
what?
still
Okay.
on watch too. Is he seeing any of this? Do I need to roll to see if he's seeing it?
You can, yeah.
Okay, core. Ooh, I do have advantage on the first one.
Not so great.
22 to hit on the first strike.
While Clank does not catch exactly what Bazarak is leaping towards, like he just sort of crouches down to a 3-point stance and then leaps up, and one moment he's there, another moment he just blinks out in the shadow and appears on a ceiling and seems to just punch a creature straight in the gut, and just goes and it begins to like lose its grip, and you punch it and you begin falling down. You fall down like 50 feet. Does your monk skills protect you from a 50-foot fall as gravity takes over?
I don't think there's anything.
I think it's a level 10.
No, I think it's one more. Yeah, it's a level up or something.
Okay, so gravity takes over after your leap, right? As you Mario punch him up, and you begin falling. Unless you have anything preventing you from falling, you can take 50
Well,
feet.
can I
worth
like
of- yeah.
hold on to like a stalactite or like a stalagmite or whatever, which one it is?
Make
on
me
the
like,
ceiling? Or is it
an-
just like a smooth?
well, make me an athletics check
Tight on the ceiling.
Okay, I'll make it athletics.
as you're trying to just like grip onto something. So you try.
No.
There was a chance of
Oh,
success
wait.
here.
I'm a werewolf. That's right. No, I didn't change. That's my bad.
That's okay. So you try. You didn't really plan it out. You're just acting on pure emotion and rage of how dare you, and then just jump up. And you try to like do some dope monk shit, but just your luck here. Moss and the moisture covers the stalactite, and as you grip it, just slip off, and you fall down, taking some damage.
Can Clank attempt to catch him?
Yeah. Does Clank attempt to go beneath Bazarak?
Yeah, he will attempt to try to catch him. Is that going to be like an athletics roll, maybe, or?
Sure. Let's go for that.
Oh, oops.
It's very comedic. Clank just runs up and like makes it like maybe like
Just land on him.
a foot off, and it just like lands
Puts
right
out his
before Clank. Yeah,
Puts out his arms and he goes between them.
yeah.
Oops.
As Bazaric takes 19 bludgeoning damage from the fall. Nonetheless, you then feel something small just fall on top of you as the kobold just punched plummets down and takes bludgeoning damage. Now, fucking stabs his neck in the fall. Fuck. Fuck.
Fuck yeah.
Can I wake up from all this commotion? Or
Oh yeah,
I cannot?
sure.
Bodies just slapping the ground.
Clank, stomping around. Clank, clank,
Wakes
clank,
up.
clank.
It's like, what the hell is going on?
I like to believe that I open my eyes after healing a Tom. I see the dead eyes of the kobold just watching.
Just still wide-eyed, surprised look on his, like, you don't see his mouth, but you can tell the jaw is just open agape at an awkward angle. Just eyes wide. Never saw it coming.
Like, help me up. Be back.
Clank will reach down and try to help him off the ground.
Azarek, what happened? Why?
He's just
Why do
patting
you look like
himself
you were
off.
just
Just
hit?
dust everywhere. Hey, you see here? I got him. I got it. I did it. And he just gets like a little feral with it, and he just kind of bends down. You ain't laughing now, you stupid lizard. And he's just like laughing in his face. And
Oh,
he's
the
like,
kobolds are back.
yeah, told you they weren't gonna stop. Stupid bitch was throwing rocks at me. I'm not gonna tolerate that. So, I did what was right, and I got him. I'm sure he's gonna have more. They're around
Excellent
here. And he just
work.
takes out his pistol and he just starts looking at the ceiling. He's like, they're coming from the walls.
They're in the fucking walls.
I'm envisioning Gizmo in his pajamas and fuzzy bunny slippers with his crossbow out, looking up at the ceiling. Although he doesn't have fuzzy bunny slippers or pajamas, but you know.
Banged myself up pretty bad though. Kind of misjudged that one. Went a little too heavy on it. But let's see what he's got, huh? What do you got here, stupid? And he starts rifling through his stuff.
You find a bag full of ants. And make me a dexterity save.
Full of ants?
Ants, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you manage to wrench your hand away just in time from the scorpion sort of tied to the belt of the kobold right beside the bag of ants, whose stinger is still loose, and it just goes for your hand, and you just manage to put your hand away from its stinger. A live scorpion, a bag of ants, and a vial that smells of that same like sort of sulfury accelerant that set your things on fire last night. It's like a yellowish liquid. Yeah.
Step on the scorpion, please. Yeah, looking at the accelerant and everything. Is it like in a little glass bottle, or is it just like in a little little gourd thing, or like what
It's
is it?
like a mushroom gourd.
Okay.
Like a hollowed out mushroom stalk that's been like capped off.
I'll throw it to Gizmo. Just be like, hey, maybe you could use this for some. Fashion yourself, I don't know, something fun with it.
You're
Let's give him a torch stalk too. I'll give him a torch stalk with it too. Like, I don't know, combine it, do something, make a grenade.
Gizmo will unstopper the liquid and take a sniff, touch it, and kind of check the viscosity, etc. You know.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. The
Do,
Plus
of
one
sulfur.
gourd.
gourd. I misspelled gourd, but whatever. I just want to name it something. From just your like knowledge from the library, you can smell this, and putting two and two together, probably extremely flammable, so useful in whatever ways you would. Treat this as like a bottle of alchemist fire, that it does not ignite when you expose it to air, it just is flammable.
Okay. So you could throw it, it would break, but then you'd have to light it, which is fine. Yeah.
Just throw it onto something that's already aflame, like a candle or something, it will burn, yeah. Yeah, and it's a very eggy smell to it, a very volcanic smell. You also find upon the goblin, aside from his like wrapping that sort of enshrouds him like a little kobold ninja, is a sooty, ashy sort of bag of different crayons, different colors, black, grays, and whites, chalk, charcoal, different utensils to write messages.
Has he been doodling or coloring or doing anything?
Yeah, you find another one with those parchments. It has a pretty doodly drawing of like 5 kobolds of varying sizes. Like 2 of them like larger than like maybe like 3 more tiny kobolds, and it's like "I love my wife" or something scrawled in the corner. Miss wife.
That sucks to suck.
Like,
Oh my god.
kill wife, regret.
Yeah. Big sad. Kill wife.
You find like the equivalent of like somebody's kids in their wallet, you know?
Yeah.
Come
I
on,
don't know
Daddy. We love you.
Well, if you wanted to live another day, shouldn't have done it. All right, toss him in the lake.
Wait.
Don't know, pull
Wait,
it
Oh,
away.
wait, I'm
we
sorry.
can-
I'm sorry. You got something to say. You want to ask him something? Go ahead, mate.
Does anyone want to ask him? Maybe we can find where his companions are settled.
I bet if you
I'm
want to
curious
ask him,
about
go for it.
how they keep finding us.
That's easy. They track us. We're a big group. Striders poop a lot. Look at that shit.
We're not
Better
moving
than
very
me.
stealthily. We're moving at high speed.
They,
Probably
they don't have
clanking
to
around.
answer you, do they? They don't have to answer truthfully, do they? If you,
Uh,
what's to stop them from lying?
yeah, but hopefully they won't.
I think they do.
And you
I-
see the face of Isabel change to a ninja kobold, just as this one. It's like a disguise self.
Yeah, there you go.
2 ninja kobolds.
It's a very tall kobold, mind you. Like you
Yeah,
watch as
I'm
his
aware
little
of that.
hands are form and grows maybe like a foot shorter. And then like it's a very tall kobold, but you know, it looks just like him.
But if nobody has questions, I'll do the casting. So once more, I aim with the stone speaker crystal and aim it at the head of the kobold, and I imagine it looks like a hologram from the crystal.
As you watch the holographic image, the body twitches a moment and just sort of you hear a loud crack as the head swivels in your direction and just sort of resets itself to stare right at you, and you see the face begin to like animate with a gasp through the crystal, and you get your 5 questions. Oh, handsome.
Oh no, they got you. Don't worry, I'll tell your sons. I'm doing my best color impression. Where is the rest of the group?
We are Legion in the shadows, always watching, just out of sight.
Always watching out of sight. Did you came along to these ones? To throw them pebbles?
Others, 6 in all, Thumbershot's chosen.
What? How is the worm doing?
Angered. He sees them. Those infidels. He knows what they did. There is no escape. Thumbershot's wrath. Their flame flickers. Soon to be snapped out by the great worm.
What were his orders exactly?
Harass. Actions will be repaid in fire. And then, final night, offer a choice. Tribute or death. It's being cryptic.
Okay. What is Denver's current goals in Gracklestock?
Riches, power. The master demands to remain in his seat of power. Do not be the puppet, but the puppeteer. And to show those fools he will not be controlled, for he is mighty. You get the notion.
Okay.
I think
five.
that's
right?
5.
Yeah.
Its crystal's glow begins to fade and the body settles back, stops twitching. The eyes grow cold, distant, 1,000 yards there.
Well, now you know, boss.
Well, that Wormsmith likes to hold a grudge, huh? Alright. Hopefully Gracklestook and the Keepers of the Flame can hold him at bay with their psionics. I'm hoping to return to a whole city and him being dealt with.
Well, he say like his group is always watching, always in the shadows. Maybe we're being watched right now.
Probably.
Didn't he say there were 6 of them? I suppose that means there are 5 now.
Probably ran off. But just to double check, I'm gonna turn into a werewolf form, and then I'm gonna take a sniff of like his clothing, his like scent and everything, and then I'm gonna see if I can, maybe try to track it or just see if there would be like that smell coming from anywhere specific in this large
You have
area.
keen senses, right? So rolling with advantage.
Yeah. Ooh,
You
more
detect
slow.
the unmistakable scent of sulfur and smoke in the air, trailing away from it and toward a different spot nearby near your camp near the shadows. If you bring a light to that spot, you'll see scrawled on the nearby stone wall, hastily traced with ash and dirt, a message reads, "You've angered the Wormsmith. He sees you. He knows what you did." It's written in Draconic script that I would imagine one of your party members can read. The scrawl seems to be like made as if somebody has dipped their claws in charcoal and other inky liquids and sort of traced all over the wall, messily. Beneath the message is a small, poorly drawn depiction of a dragon's open maw, flame spewing from its mouth. Yeah. Gizmo will be able to easily translate.
Yep. It looks like Denverchot is hunting for us, as we suspected.
He can't
I
be
should have
fast.
asked it. What's that?
He can't be fast.
Well, we don't.
Himself?
From
Thunderstrike.
the, I'll give
why-
this to you because he did
Why
sort
don't
of
we use
ask.
the mail?
You did sort of ask, so he would have sort of answered that. Fel Kobold, and it seems like Thunderstrike is still planning from within Krakostuch. He's still within his lair. when you ask him like how's Thomas doing, it sounded like he was still in Dragonstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have asked how he found out. How he knew. Who was
Cannot
talking.
do, we cannot do much with that information. I don't think he will know either.
Could we use the dragon scale mail to figure out where cold molds are? I don't think that would work, but
What do you mean?
well, the mail, I forgot who's wearing it, but
Isabel.
it-
Yeah.
yeah, Isabel is wearing the dragon mail, and she can find out where a dragon is. Red dragon, right?
Good what you are asking.
I believe 3 miles? 30 miles. Easy. Would you do that? Hone in on
Yeah, I do that.
honing in on the scale mail's magical abilities granted to you, and sort of triangulating it out with a map you have, you can confirm indeed that Tamshad is still within Gragostuk. An excellent way of confirming that.
Yeah.
You're still, what has been, like 2 days? Or 3? You're anywhere from 16 to like 24 miles from Gragostuk. So either way, you're within distance to still track down the Red Dragon. You detect more than one presence, by the way.
How many?
Oh,
4.
Egg.
4?
What?
Okay.
The most distant of which, and the greatest of which, the most elder of which, is in Gragostuk. Not sure how you'd be able, I'm just flavoring it. Not sure how you'd be able to gauge exact age, but you detect a greater presence in Gragostuk, and then like little pings here and there throughout the Underdark in various directions.
Okay. I'll share that. Like,
Mhm.
there is more than one in this underground. But
Dude. To be specific, because I'll give you some details, I'm just reading what the magic item can do, and you can triangulate distance more or less, right? Distance and direction, yeah, exactly. So you'll be able to exactly tell that one, in Gragostuk, 2 of them seem to be like almost side by side, indicating like either siblings or a mated pair. In that area you passed out of Gragostuk, that volcanic area, maybe like 8 miles from it, layering there. And then one more presence, Red Draconic, to the north of you guys, like along your route to Livingston. I'm gonna roll it up to chance. Currently venturing 17 miles north of you.
okay.
It's almost 2 days away.
Was the baby one that I took the illithid tadpole out of? Was that one a red dragon too?
Will it detect eggs? If it does, then you'll be able to detect.
Oh no, it's still an egg. I forgot it's.
But it is a dragon. I'll count it because you're not losing anything. That's kind of cool. So you detect 2 presences in Gragostuk. The dragon egg is still in Gragostuk.
I'm sure they're still warming it.
It makes sense that there are more dragons, red dragons nearby, but where else would they have gotten the egg?
I don't know, the surface maybe? I mean, if I had wings, I would not be down here.
There's numerous places it could have came. But the fact that there's more of those bastards down here, I don't even want to think about it. One was already enough. Now, there's more. I hope they're little, what do they call like the baby dragons?
Wormlings.
Wormlings, yeah. Hopefully it's just a wormling or something of that size, that caliber. Probably do best just to avoid them. But I'm curious to see what he has for us at the end of this little trial of his. This little crossroads he speaks of.
He say that on the final night we have tribute or death.
think.
Well, I'm not planning on dying by, so. Oops.
I think once we are away from Elara's rest, the next time we need to make camp, we should prepare welcome for these watchers.
I think we should leave them some food on the table. Maybe they will
What?
take a sit. Yes.
Well, not about food, but specifically, but I think perhaps Jim Jar's idea of can be modified a little bit. We set a trap for them, but maybe we use that flash bomb that you made to blind them. It would certainly wake us up, and if they were disabled or blinded, they would be much easier to capture or kill.
Or
Take a
we
couple
leave them
shiny
food,
pieces.
but the food is trapped. It's poisoned, or there's broken glass in it, or something.
Yes.
That, leave a trap with the bomb, something. I don't know. I'll be waiting for
Oh.
them, though.
Yes, and what we should do is we should cook up the dead one and leave that out for them. Psychological warfare, you see. Yeah.
Pretty brutal, but alright.
Maybe that's my
I dig it.
bedroll.
We take its head with us, and we put it on a spike at our camp, inviting them to come and test us.
You're gonna be the one to do that. And he makes like the cutting throat motion to him. You ever take a creature's head off before, mate?
Oh, not me. That is not something I think I have the stomach for.
Aye. You said it. And he's gonna write that down too. Gizmo wants to decapitate creature.
Yeah, you'll see me take out maybe the blade that I got from Ellara. It's like, oh, well, I suppose you do now. And then I'll go and cut out the stomach and toss it to Gizmo. Yes, no, we should definitely send them a warning. And I'm not very good with this, but I'll take some time and I'll hack the head off and affix it to something. Yes, well, let them know. Let them know.
I can just imagine Dawnbringer being like, "What the fuck?"
Gizmo is immediately regretting that he spoke up, looking at the guts and blood and headless body nearby.
Now, who knows how to cook?
Oh,
Look, I ain't eating
Gizmo?
that.
You seem like the type that might know how to cook. They
I'm
say it
not
tastes like
going
chicken.
to cook- I'm not going to cook that.
Okay, why don't you
It's
just
not
write
the-
the recipe down for me, and then I'll try my hand at it.
Do not have a recipe for cooking your dead enemies. I do not have that recipe.
Well, you could just wing it.
I mean, how hard can it be, says Jim
That's
Jar.
one.
Goblins do it all the time.
Yes, basically you just make it hot. I'll figure it out myself. I guess I'm working
not
on
gonna eat that.
on cook's utensils proficiency too now.
I'm not gonna eat that.
It's not for you.
It's not for
their
us.
friends. It's not for you. It's for their friends.
They're friends? Oh,
Yes, there's 5 more of them.
But we're already
want to
sending a message.
feed them their dead friend.
I'm going to send a message. And that message is, do not burn my
You can't.
bedroll.
You don't think a corpse left behind is enough?
I mean, that would suffice, but I thought that, I'm just being creative. You don't like the idea? I mean, if you were
Eric
if
just
you were
like-
if you were trying to harass someone and then you came back and your best friend was trying to cheeseburger, I think that sends quite the message. Yes.
Eric like sighs. He looks to the signs like every day in this abyss.
You got a long
Just
road
gets
to
worse
go.
and worse.
Alright. Message received. They'll get it. Why don't we go get some shut-eye? The other 5 must have left already, knowing that we'd already got one of them. If I were them, I would have break loose. Or, broke contact a while back. We got a long day tomorrow. Let's get some shut-eye.
Everyone except Self goes to sleep. He's cooking.
Alright, it's your
He's-
watch.
He's got a headless kobold body on a stick that he's trying to roast over a fire.
Cool. Okay. So you do that. You get 1 pound of edible meat.
Hey, they're small.
Do you guys just like leave the rest of the
Alright,
body there? Like,
Well, okay. I'm gonna try to do like a little bit of presentation for these guys that are coming after us to send a message. I'm gonna try for something like that in Discord.
Juke. Off.
gross.
Let me take that out of my mind.
Okay.
Alright, I think the Self is getting to the point where he realizes that he's not scaring his enemies, he's scaring everyone that he's friends with. He's like, okay, well, maybe I'll tone it down a little bit.
So do you leave standard cookies or not?
I'm going to, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you put it aside, go to bed. Come waking, come end of rest. You guys wake up to a disturbing sight outside of your camp. Arranged meticulously in front of your sleeping area in like a crude effigy of a dragon, fashioned from like sticks, cobalt bones, strips of ragged cloth. The bones, likely small animal creature, mixed in with the kobold's bones, have been like sort of nibbled on and gnawed on and stuff. Are broken and snapped into pieces to fit into places, resembling a dragon's skeletal structure with wings and a tail, and all in all, like this like beautifully carved altar, artistically made from various bones. Nearby, a small pile of ashes rings the edges of this small fire, marked by unmistakable smell of burnt rations. And this eerie effigy stares at you, lifeless yet menacing, like its hollow eyes, created from smooth black stones reflecting the dim light of nearby flames. They've eaten your meal and used the bones to create this effigy. Scattered around the effigy are still bits of that meat and previous night's meal, placed as if part of some mocking ritual. And you note no footprints are visible, and no sound has alerted you during the night. Only the disquieting reminder of Thumbershot's influence left for you here to find. Looking into the flame, you see the flames, though small, flicker unnaturally. For a brief moment, the fire sputters and bends in odd directions as though caught in an invisible breeze. And suddenly the flames twist upwards into the shape of a dragon's head, its maw wide open as if poised to devour. A faint hiss emanates from the fire, a voice distant but unmistakable whispers through the crackling heat. The wormsmith's patience has burnt up. Your tithe shall soon be collected. Your treasures or your life, says the voice. As soon as the words are spoken, the flames abruptly sputter and die out, leaving you in a sudden, oppressive darkness. Only the faint, lingering smell of smoke remains, but its ominous message hangs in the air as if Thundershot himself had briefly peered into your souls. What follows is an uneasy silence that follows, like just heavier than before, and you can feel as if you're being watched.
Guys, I have bad news. We forgot to poison the food that we left them.
Well, that is some bad news.
Yes, Miss.
How
Miss
could you
Thompson,
forget the poison?
it was the whole plan. I am so sorry.
You
I
guys are
didn't
funny.
think they would eat it in the first place.
Of course, they're kobolds. Expect nothing
That's
less.
why I say. I thought like a kobold for a second.
I cooked it. Did I have to do everything? I assumed one of you would do it.
Why wouldn't they eat one of their own? You die, I die, we all die. Big whoop. The kobold way.
Alright, we're learning. It's a learning curve.
Mhm.
It's only been day 2. We're on day 3 now.
Right. Next time we kill one, we'll have some poison ready. We'll try the plan again.
So that's gonna be part of the launch screen right there. Good shit. So, to expedite things, you guys set out and leave Elara's Rest. Journey onwards.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Whoever's navigating, go ahead and make me that quick survival roll.
So right now it's just us. It's not the whole Myconid colony and
Correct. Shushar, the Myconids, Stool, and Rumpudup included have opted to stay, yes.
I'm trying to. The one elf is coming with us, even though his sister's behind.
Aranus wishes to find a way to resurrect his sister.
He's
Unless you wish him
still
to
looking for work.
split with the party for whatever reason, you know, the choice is yours, but he's
Eric
still...
would encourage him to not give up.
Yeah, he should come with us. Gizmo will be supportive. And Gabagool is with us too?
Yes. Oh yes,
Okay.
all the way, babe. Jim Jar Gabagool is with you guys.
Okay. Jimjar, Gabagool, and Aranus. And everybody, and then us. Okay. Cool.
Oh,
What speed do you want to move at? Fast, medium, slow?
fast.
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys still being fast, yeah.
You never know.
Okay, if nobody goes, I'll go for it again.
Go for it.
Front. 5.
5. So, you guys lose some time as you have to maneuver around without your Myconid friends. That all makes sense without the Circle of Explorers sort of leading you around the area of Neverlight Grove. You still have to adjust a few parts. I'm gonna say that you guys have unfortunately spend either time pushing to try and rewrite yourself back on track, and you will make me one exhaustion check, which will be your Constitution saving throws against exhaustion, and you will make the same progress having pushed back on track, making the same 8 miles, or you just lose some distance. Does that make sense?
Okay, so we exhaustion or we lose distance.
Right, because as you sort of
Okay.
enter this like phase-less fuse chamber containing like fist-sized chunks of quartz that shed a dim light like candles in the dark, you get lost in this maze a little bit. Anybody who... Let me check exhaustion again real quick. That's like forced march.
I think it's only a 10.
Yeah, I think it's a C10. And then it increases by 1 every extra hour. But I just want to make sure that I got the right move. The rules, rather. Force march. Force march.
It looks
Travel
like only one of
place.
us passed.
Yeah, DC 10.
Yeah, it looks like Eric's the only one who made it.
Remember, you guys have inspiration if you want to use it at this moment. It's up to you. Inspiration gives you advantage. Unfortunately, you can't advantage over the rules that you made there, Gizmo. So Gizmo does suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Yep.
And then from here, you can keep force marching if you wish to reach a safer destination, or camp here in this more exposed area if this is where you want to end your day. To give you like above the table notion of what that means, for the sake of this, if you camp out in an open area, not shielded by like guarded cavern or anything, I roll on an encounter table at night twice. I get advantage on encounters essentially, and the higher I roll, the worse the encounter is, because you're in a more exposed area, you're easier to spot, so it's sort of that sort of a deal. Or you can like make me another roll, risk another level of exhaustion, but you'll reach a safer place where I just roll a normal encounter roll.
Like
Second
another
level of
constitution
exhaustion.
roll?
Yeah, if you want to force march
If
out of
you
it.
want to keep going.
Yeah, because you spent 8 hours or so trying to get back on track, making the same progress you would have with fast pace, push yourself to the point of exhaustion, but you've made it to an open area. I mean, a little bit lost.
I'll say let's try to find a better area. Push 1 more hour. Everyone good?
Second,
Okay.
second
we-
level of exhaustion is pretty significant.
It is pretty
isn't
bad.
it?
Yeah. Could we use bless on this? Would that be able to affect it? Because I know that this is like over a longer period of time than a bless would last.
So no. Kind of like same with guidance, where if it takes more than a minute
Right.
to do, guidance will not help you. Same thing with bless sort of thing. Mostly because there are other potions and spells out there that last that duration and do help. Bless, unfortunately, is just not powerful enough to aid you in this regard. But risk and reward. I might just roll on the table and you guys want to encounter something bad, so it's a gamble.
Yeah, I'll say let's push it 1 more. But if people are against it, we rest here and deal with the encounters.
Essentially, if you encounter something at night, you'll encounter it with, at worst, 2 levels of exhaustion, and then come rest. If you have 2 levels of exhaustion, you sleep out of them off. So you'll have a holdover. You guys decide, though.
Yeah. If we stay here, we only have 1 level of exhaustion, and if we can sleep it off, we're good to go in the morning. So that's what Gizmo's plan would be lobbying for.
Yeah, but like it's way in the open, so we can get surprised by everything from the ceiling to
Surprise
the
is different.
underground.
Surprise is different.
No,
Especially
well.
because Clank cannot get surprised. This party's actually immune to surprise in a way, if you think about it. Not the whole party, but Clank will spot it for sure. I'm just saying that surprise is depending on your perception. This is more
No,
like
when I mean surprise, not the literal surprise. Surprise is like we will get an encounter. That's what I'm saying. But
I say risk it, just sleep in the open.
Okay.
We have the
let's-
open, so we know, we just hold guard, put everything in the middle, we take a circle, formation around it, and
Well, we're sleeping here, though.
What is 1 level of exhaustion, by the way?
Disadvantage on
on
checks.
ability.
Yeah.
On
So,
checks.
and then the next one is saves, I think. So
No,
I mean, we
attack
could.
rules.
Oh, attack rolls. Yeah. I mean, it's up to you guys. I'm down to roll for whatever. So
We sleep in the open, I guess.
Gizmo
Right.
wants to camp here. So
you want me
that's
to
his vote.
dig a hole?
He's not.
Yeah, we're camping here. It's
I-
decided.
I don't think we need to dig a hole. It's only the Steeders and the 7 of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can make
Mhm.
if you have mold earth, you can make some like raised earth or something to like take cover behind just in case we do get ambushed or something.
Yes, trench
Sounds good.
warfare.
You
I will
build
dig a
yourself doing
trench, yes.
that. Isabel is yourself with the alarm spell as you guys are beginning to set up camp. Who is preparing to take first watch?
Me.
You, as you prepare to take first watch and you're beginning to settle into your usual routine, you don't get to because I rolled an encounter. So but you notice. It depends on your perception check. So go ahead and roll me a perception check. And you have dark vision.
Yes.
But to spot things beyond your range of bright light is still disadvantageous. You have vision, you're not blinded, but it's still disadvantageous perception check. So roll me twice. I'll use the higher of the 2 dice for bright light sources, and then the lower of the rolls for like darkness areas. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So
can
2
I-
rolls.
Exactly.
Can I-
Disadvantage.
So 24 is what you spot in areas that have light, and then you just roll a 7 there, which is like even with your dark vision looking into the black and white. Yeah, what's up?
I
That was
gonna say,
Clank. Just making sure that you knew that wasn't Bazarak's roll. That was Clank's.
Cool. Yeah, okay.
I wanna see if I could make a perimeter with this 5.
So you're beginning to do the perimeter. You're going through the first like minutes of casting the spell, setting it up. You're maybe like halfway through it when Bazarak and whoever's on watch spot what I'm going to describe now.
Okay.
And you guys decide what you proceed from here.
Oh.
So as you're setting up cap, you hear something. Bazarak and Clank on watch. Emerging from the dimness are 4 drow riders atop massive lizard mounds. Their dark figures cut sharply against the glowing quartz of this cavern. Trick or light, 3 drow riders. Show you what it looked like from like in your dark vision and such. Clank, yeah.
Clank is going to activate his alarm stone.
You're gonna make a lot of noise.
Because
Okay.
Yep.
You do that. So
that's what he would do.
of
That's what
course.
he was instructed to do. So, yeah.
In the distance, with your dark vision, Bazarak, you see the red glint of their eyes pivot exactly toward the party, where the sound is coming from. What little chance you had at stealth has been just doused away, and you see the riders. The lizards, with their thick scaled hides and glistening eyes, carry heavy packs and a gleaming weapon. These riders are armed. Each rider is clad in a dark, finely crafted armor, their presence imposing and authoritative. At the head of the group, you see a female drow, distinguishable by her commanding posture and elaborate attire as she leads the group. Her armor is adorned with intricate silver filigree and gemstone inlays in her armor, reflecting the chamber's faint light. A flowing cloak of like deep violet drapes from her shoulder, signifying her rank and high status. Then you make out her face as they draw closer. Framed by sharp, elegant features and flowing white hair, she holds a regal expression, her eyes glowing red in the dark, a sign of their like sort of infrared vision that they use to detect heat sources in the dark. As they survey the chamber with a mix of curiosity and disdain in your direction. There are 3 others, male drow, in contrast, who wear simpler, though still finely made armor, and they carry a range of weapons, from what you can see, and they're busy adjusting their packs. Their expressions were more focused on their task at hand rather than any potential intruders, but then they quickly turn their attention to you guys. As soon as the alarm sounds, you see Aranis crouch and back up against the cave walls, hiding in the shadows. He's going to tap a stealth roll in just a moment. Acting with quick subterfuge, Jimjar reacts by casting a spell on himself. His like eyes just flicker with like mischief. He takes deep breath, whispers like a series of incantations with like a sly grin, his voice low yet confident. The syllables roll off his tongue with like a mixture of deep tones and sharp hisses, resonating with like a faint magic that hangs in the air around him. And he begins to gesture fluidly with his fingers, tracing arcane patterns in the air, conjuring forth energies needed for the spell. And as he completes the final flourish, a shimmering veil envelops him as he sheds his form and transforms. His features morph, reshape until he stands before the group of you guys, as a goblin clad in like tattered hide armor, his skin darkened to like a murky gray, while intricate designs of black and crimson war paint emerge across his skin, mimicking like markings of like a devoted servant of Lolth. And he sort of like just tilts his head, testing the new visage as he steps forward, ready to for whatever danger might lie ahead. So 2 things happen here. Aranis rules me stealth, and then you see the new transformed form of what is the disguise of your dwarven companion here. As that is happening, and I make my rules, do you guys react in any sort of way?
Yeah, Gizmo's gonna grab his shield and arm himself with his tool thingy. Sorry. His all-purpose tool and his shield. He's gonna try to take cover. Clank, get over here.
I'm definitely going to go werewolf form, and I'm definitely going to slink into the shadows, and use a teleport ability that when the riders come within the party, I'm only 40 feet away.
Go ahead and make me a stealth check. This is going to be at disadvantage because they've sort of been alerted by Clank. But I'll still give you the rule chance to try and sneak away in the chaos. 12 versus 14.
Yeah, if we can prepare, I'll summon Atlas. That's it. 12.
Okay. I'm waiting to hear for the rest of the group. I haven't heard from
I'm trying to think of what I could do in this situation.
Lorian either. Yeah.
Eric
I
just
guess-
draws Dawnbringer and ignites her blade, saying, "Looks like we're not going to sleep yet."
I guess I'd take some of the loose earth and kind of make like a little bit of a wall, some cover for me to get behind, and press my back to it.
If we can, if there's time afforded to us, Eric will extend the range of Dawnbringer's light to 20 feet bright, 20 feet dim.
The drow riders atop their mounts make their way towards you, not at a charge pace. They don't seem to be hostile just yet. They sort of just prowl closer, some of them squinting against the bright light of Dawnbringer as you increase the light. The female in the group actually crosses the threshold of just at the edge of the light, enough to illuminate under light her features, and you can see her eyes are alight upon and sort of aligned, set upon your spider mounts. These giant tarantulas, sacred creatures to the drow of Menzoberranzan. And in her expression, with your passive insight, you can see her gaze softens, almost reverent, before she steps forward, dismounts with graceful ease, and with arrogance in her posture, which is quite palpable, every movement calculated like an arachnid making its way across a web. She begins steadily approaching, dismounted.
I'm gonna stay back I'm gonna just keep stealthing and, waiting until she comes close to the party to where I feel comfortable. If anything was to happen, I would pounce on her first.
As she gazes upon
Eric
you,
watches her with suspicion, and he calls out to her, saying, "Who are you?"
she focuses her gaze upon Eric, inspecting his face and features. Dead scanning the rest of you silently, realizing none of you are drow, especially no females among you. Her expression hardens into that of cold disdain.
Isabel. Oh, she's hidden. Right.
No drow females.
Hmm.
She just sort of sweeps past Isabel, who's hidden in shadows. Not sure if she's spotted her or not. Maybe she doesn't even care that she's there. She just sweeps past the group. As though you guys are like little more than dirt beneath her boot. And with a voice like silk laced with venom, she addresses you. So it seems not even commoners and males know the worth of our goddess's sacred creatures. Her eyes flick to the spiders, clearly more interested in them than you. Sheath your blades. They will not save you if this comes to blows. I am Nyreth of House Mizrim, 5th house of Menzoberranzan. A name that you should need no introduction to those who understand true power. She gives a condescending glance at your party, lingering just a moment longer on the Dweger werewolf among you with thinly veiled contempt. Then she steps closer to your spider mounts, running her fingers lightly along the hairs of one tarantula. How quaint that such magnificent creatures are wasted on the likes of you. Though perhaps in their wisdom they have chosen you as servants. If that is the case, then I shall extend the same mercy, if you would be so reasonable. She looks at you all expectantly, still glancing at your weapons. Sheathe your sword, for it offends me.
You want us to serve you?
That is not my current goal in mind. You are so fortunate to benefit from my mercy this day. Live and let live, I say. She turns with an imperialist flick of her cloak. You may have a privilege of trade, even. I would see what manner of curiosities you possess. In return, I shall grant you the rare honor of a glimpse of our wares from the great city. And with a gesture from Nareth, the male drow begin to sort of unpack crates from their lizard mounts, setting out various exotic items, spider silk garments, delicate poisons, and other trade goods. While Nareth herself doesn't deign to acknowledge the party further, focusing entirely on the spiders, her aloof demeanor remains as though you're invisible, her interest piqued only by tarantulas. You contemplate your next steps forward. She indulges herself.
While behind cover, I'm gonna cast detect thoughts, and depending on how far away from them I am, I'll make a show of sheathing my blade as I walk. It's like, okay, well, let's all be reasonable here. Let's see what they have to offer. And what am I getting off of them?
Do I have to roll a save against this just surface thoughts?
Just surface thoughts goes through. It's only if I want to dig deeper that there's a save.
The immediate surface thoughts you get from Neareth of House Mizrim is something along the lines of, they ought to be grateful for my mercy. They are fortunate I am feeling generous today. But should they push their luck, especially that one, and she focuses upon the one with the sunblade, even these sacred creatures will not shield them from my wrath. And she begins to deliciously, wickedly imagine all the ways she can enwrap you in her webs. And you get various images of her shifting into a dreadful spider-like form. Half drow, half spider, some monstrosity altogether. She's more than meets the eye, but the vision fades as she keeps on playing with that thought.
I'll reach out to Eric and be like, I think we're okay here. Let's keep the blade for now. You know, be on the ready, but let's see what they have to offer.
Eric will reduce the range of the sunlight to 15 bright, 15 dim. So he's giving them 10 feet of reprise in darkness from its previous range. But he stays standing where he was.
You hear an annoyed noise, like she ticks her tongue annoyingly, and she begins to sort of unravel a whip from the side of her cloak, belt, whatever she reaches, and she sort of unravels this wicked-looking black whip and coils it. I'm not in a habit of repeating myself. Sheath, extinguish the sunlight, for it offends me.
And I guess I'll continue to move forward. Say, good lady, I do apologize, but to have faith in another one's mercy, especially one as yourself, is something that can get you killed in the Underdark. Do you mind if I verify your stance with us?
I do. And I mind you bother me further. You may have a gander at our goods, and we will part ways. As I indulge
Am I getting
myself.
anything?
Hmm?
Sorry.
Are
Oh,
you trying to-
I thought that you were done. I was just saying, I still have the detect thoughts going. Am I getting anything like she's about to double cross us or anything like that? From any three of them? Or do they actually seem like they're kind of pacified by the fact that we are with these spiders?
In their cruelty, the two males guarding her currently are just itching for you to make the wrong move here, so they might release their wrath upon you. They haven't had a kill in days, and this would be fine entertainment. But they don't seem poised to betray you at this very moment. They're only heeding the word of their mistress. Their mistress seems poised only to study these creatures. Magnificent they are, these gifts from Lolth. But her patience is being strained. You can feel annoyance in her sorcerer's thoughts at the sunlight blade.
Eric, stand down, please.
Eric will turn off Sun Dawnbringer's blade, but he keeps the handle gripped tight in one of his hands.
There we are. Apologies for that.
Jimder just sort of mutters under his breath. Well, aren't we just lucky as folk in Underdark? Still in goblin form, still disguised, sort of this little guy. He whispers, care to bet on how long before she snaps her fingers and we're groveling for scraps? Flashing a wry grin, but keeping a distance.
Well then.
Eric sort of smiles back at him and says, knowing nobles, there's only so much offense she'll take. And the drow have twisted senses of what is offensive.
Stepping up from the shadows, I'm gonna kind of motion to the Aranis next to me just to say, like, you stay here just in case if anything does go awry, but I'll reveal myself, still in werewolf form. But I'm still staying on the outside of the group, just pacing back and forth. Just darting my eyes back and forth and just kind of being like on Overwatch still.
You can see one of the drow males draw an arrow to his bow, point it at Aranis, pull back the arrow tip, and release the arrow, and it comes whistling toward him and lands maybe an inch up from his ear as the two of them cackle. They can see him.
Everyone, please stand down. We choose commerce, not violence today.
Oh, then get it over with.
Okay, let's see the wares.
The drow have...
Is there any...
Yeah.
Is there any light now that Dawnbringer's been sheathed, or is Eric just standing in darkness?
That's something for the party to answer, for the drow travel in darkness.
I figured. I imagine that as Eric sheaves the blade, that it just returns to the pitch black darkness that they presumably were going to sleep in. And
I think we had
he's
some
just
at least
listening
a
for
tinker out. Right? Like we had a little bit of light from the tinkers, maybe?
Yeah, you have 5 feet of light if you wanna use it just to move around.
from Zon. From
I mean, just drop a torch and just put it behind you 5 or 10 feet.
Here. You have a tiny torch.
Eric is just listening for signs of battle, basically. He's gonna stay by where their camp is.
As they lay out their goods, Nareth Mizram spreads out her hands and bathes the scene in fairy fire that leaks out of her hands like a fine purplish glowing mist that sort of dimly illuminates her goods, giving them a shine and luster, and giving you a good gander at them. Along with some provisions, you see spider silk cloaks laced with shadow, drow poisons, silk tunics, and these spider-legged climbing tools and spider-legged chests, drow-style leather armor, handcrafted spider ceramics, and other drow trade goods of varying price. Does anything catch your eye?
Before we get involved in looking at your goods, madam, what is it that you covet of ours, if I so may ask?
You may not, she says simply. She does not owe you anything. Drow, in their regal, noble ways, are not ones to speak out of their position of power. She's very much treating you like you're below her, and she does not owe you anything. Your mere survival here is privilege enough. And drow, being creatures of secrecy and darkness and loth by other elements, she's not keen on being open with you.
So you offer commerce, but you do not say what you're interested in.
Your coin will do.
How will we trade?
My lady, we are unfamiliar with your crafts. Could you explain to us what we're looking at here?
The finest of Pidwahwis, she says, a word in Elvish, pointing at the various shadow cloaks throughout, cloaks to help you stealth in the shadows and such. Drow poison to render one unconscious, finest of Manzabaranson. Our drow embroidered silk tunics, should you wish to wear more than the mere garb that you're wearing now. Climbing tools, for you will never approach the true glory of spider climbing, such as the ones bestowed upon the highest of loth clerics. But this will do for some of you. So these spider-leg climbing tools sort of grant you advantage on reflex checks to climb up and such, and cancel out a difficult terrain effect, because they give you climbing speed. There's drow-style leather armor that you can see. These set of black leather armor tailored to fit drow proportions with reinforced padding, strategic places designed to be both flexible and durable, suitable for combat or stealth. Does not impose penalties on stealth. There are various handcrafted spider ceramics. These delicate spider-themed ceramics are intricately designed and hand-painted, including small vases, bowls, cups, containers, all featuring drow spider motifs. Popular among collectors and for use in ceremonial settings or as gifts, whatever use you might find these. Other trade goods, collection of mundane but valuable items traded within the Underdark, including preserved foodstuff like dried mushrooms, salted fish, precious ore, finely crafted tools. But what really catches your attention are those spider-sick wafwis that grant advantage from stealth checks in areas of dim light or darkness, and poison of another rare commodity. If those of you like lists, I'll put in a little chat list.
Yeah.
I will be interested on the spider.
So
flying
you're
tool.
Okay, buy them if you wish.
Yeah. Easy.
Self, your telepathy, is that 2 ways?
Oh, yes, you can respond.
So Eric is still just standing by the entrance of the cave, not getting close to the drow, but he'll ask Self telepathy like what do they have? And as he receives like a summary of their goods, he'll ask more specifically about the ore.
The ore. Okay, I'll relay whatever I can see in terms of the ore. If we need more, I can ask some questions about it.
Eric, is there any ore that you're looking for specifically? We're gonna play Go Fish.
Mithril is always the best, but if there's any other special ores that they have that when imbued into gear could help with their survival.
Mithril is not among the ores. It's just again sort of filtering through it.
Okay. The ores they have, they're like, it's just like iron, steel, copper, things like that.
Sure, yeah.
Well, we were looking for poison for, for the kobolds, I suppose. How much is... Does it say how much the draw poison is?
I believe their poisons put creatures to sleep. Yes.
That's okay. That's fine with me. If it's asleep, then we can kill it while it's asleep. Okay,
Okay.
well, I will kill it while it's asleep, and you can just sit there and do nothing. I understand. You're morally superior to me. That's fine.
How long does the poison keep them asleep for? They might wake up before we do.
It doesn't take much to be morally superior to yourself.
These are of the lesser potency, an hour's worth of unconsciousness rendered.
No, an hour is quite a long time. How much are these?
200.
200.
Oh. I gingerly put it back down on the table.
Meager means perhaps you have something to trade in its place. Equal.
I mean, I could just knock someone out and save myself 200 gold. I mean, out of curiosity, does this work in ingestion or is this intravenous?
It works by delivery of true malice, a slice straight into the bloodstream. Injury poison.
I see. No, I was looking for something ingestible.
The spider bites but one way.
The Pewafis would be very handy, but I do not think we can afford them.
Again, perhaps you have more than in your coin to offer. For example, that sword. She points toward the hexblade.
Oh, you want this?
I'll grant you
Okay.
2 of my finest goods, poison and the cloak, in exchange for the blade.
Okay, so above the table, the way that the hexblade works is if I attune to another weapon with it, that one becomes the new hexblade. So, the question is as long as like it's okay that I'm doing that, I can screw them over right now. I can just basically like sell them this, but then they're gonna come after us. So, what house did you say that you were from again? I don't don't think that you would like to do that.
She squints her eyes, but decides, for the sake of mutual destruction, to wave off your chutzpah and just say anything else of equal value will earn you these goods. Otherwise, our business here is finished. And this was an unfortunate, meager exchange.
What about simply buying some food?
She's willing to part
The
with
food
20
had-
pounds worth of food.
The food they had prepared is probably nicer than... Probably more than just some mushrooms, at least.
I'm muted. Okay. So. So how are things going in Menso right now? The rest of the Underdark seems to be under siege.
And yet we thrive.
Hold on.
Sinaya was not so sure of that.
You picture her interest as she lifts an eyebrow. Roll me a wisdom save. You feel like spider legs caressing your brain. She begins to pervade your mind. Read every thought.
Use inspiration on that.
Begins to pry past and push past surface thoughts. As I'm gonna look up, it's Arachnomancer's DC for spellcasting is 16. You just passed. Disappointing that you resist. That only means that you have something to hide. So I'll give you the chance to confess what you know.
That she told us that the city is under duress under this situation. You're trying to exploit the chaos here, but it's too much for your houses.
What is it that makes you so frightened to reveal? What is it you think that dares challenge the 8 houses of Mensa Parents?
Can the 8 houses handle a demon? The abyss coming to this land. Can you withstand even with your spider goddess?
You are not fetching for lies, for I see your surface ripples of your mind. Therefore you speak the fearful truth. This is concerning news. Who are you? Where are you headed? She begins to try and pry, but you keep saving against that encircling spider that is now crawling inside your brain.
We are going to the surface. We need to find reinforcement for the situation that is happening here. I'm trying to...
Yeah, finish.
I'm trying to see if Menso Barrasan is interested in solving the situation. If we can be allies against this.
Allies with you? What benefit would that serve? What chance do you have against such a threat? We might unite our armies of thousands. Barricade ourselves within our cities if we must. But you, I can crush you here and now. What chance do you have against the forces of Abyss? Forces only we control. For we are loth, chosen, devoted, and sworn to her, one with the demon queen of spiders. What chance do you have? And as she's speaking all this, she's scanning the group, trying to really gauge who are you that you witnesses survive this. Where's Eric in all this?
In the darkness.
Eric is still standing by the cave entrance. He did not want to get any closer to the drow. He doesn't really trust them that he doesn't trust that they won't just suddenly attack them, and he's also thinking like it's possible that they just don't recognize me because I'm standing far away, and I don't want to get closer and give them the chance to ID me.
As she scans the group, squinting her eyes, there's a slight smirk on her face, and she just simply says, "But I see. These are grim news indeed. I'm afraid the time for trade has gone. Our business here has concluded we must deliver these grim news to Menzo Barons, and who knows, maybe our paths will yet cross."
I'll tell her my name, Isabel, for when you reconsider what I offer. Uh, you're one with load, but for my count, there are 6 demons down here in the Underdark. 6 demon lords. I don't think the Queen Spiders can handle that.
"You do not get to insult her name," she says, her knuckles whitening, their grip tightening around the whip. But she maintained herself. There's something else holding her from squishing you where you stand. She needs you alive for some reason. "We go." And with a hand signal, she signals the males to pack up. This will take about 5 minutes for them to really pack up their stuff, so all the while you guys can discuss what thoughts you might have as they begin to arrange to leave.
So Gizmo is going to say, I think perhaps we should get to those spider-legged climbing tools. Can we spare the 30 gold?
I got one.
They only sell one. They only have one each item.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, you got a set. I missed it. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. I
Okay.
missed that you got those.
Yeah. Anything else? Like, go for whatever you want. Like, gold here is like we don't have much use for it. So the little chances we have, we should go for it.
While you guys have decided what it is you need, you see. Yeah.
Does the party sort of make their distance from the drow as they start packing up and we're talking?
Do you?
I mean, if you
I'm
ask
asking
to do that, yeah, of course, sure.
Eric will make his way over to them, still being cognizant of the distance between them. And he says, "What do you think is going on that Menzo Bazrazan hadn't heard of the demon incursion? There's no way they didn't know about it."
You are
Not
correct.
necessarily in the whole city. Oh, she can hear her. Okay.
He's talking to. Sorry, I thought you were talking to her. My bad.
No. Talking to my party.
Sorry.
Being still sort of keeping my distance from them.
Well, I mean, maybe she doesn't know. It doesn't mean the whole city doesn't know.
Yeah, they know. You didn't know this part, Lorian. So we found some drows that were dead. We interrogate them with magic, and they say like they are not the responsible ones for this, for the demon incursion, but that they're trying to do their best with what they have. So they know.
Maybe she's lying, trying to save face.
Perhaps it was only one house or one family amongst the drow that dabbled with something they shouldn't have and is hiding it.
Time will tell. I can only hope that the abyss swallows them first. If you want to use stuff that they offer, be my guest. I don't want to touch it. Why are you revealing our hands? Looking to Isabel. You're revealing our cards too much. They don't need to know what we're doing. Sending our force to come back down here. Now we've possibly given them more time to prepare.
We need to try to get allies wherever we want. We can.
We got allies.
Yeah.
They'll always cheat you. They'll always take everything from you, right up underneath. And to the very end, they'll think you're loyal. They'll backstab you. Let them two fight it out. We'll deal with them in the end. Good for
For once, I
nothing.
agree with Bazarak.
Here they are, trying to
There's no
hunt you
good-
down, trying to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
There's no
but
good that can come but trying to ally with the drow.
we can kill
They were
each
still-
other and die, or we can try to survive together. Like, the abyss is coming for all of us, no matter the color of your ears. So,
As
I
the-
have to say. Mhm,
As
go
the
for it.
drow lady is walking away, I will reach out telepathically and just say, "My lady," and I will telepathically project the image of oh my god, I can't remember Zgutmoy
Sugatomi.
that we saw, and I'm gonna say to her, "Make sure your city's prepared for what's coming. Good luck."
We just might kill you last, is the psionic sort of message you get back. As a drow way of saying thanks. As she says this, she utters a few words in Abyssal and begins to gesticulate toward Miles. Places a spell, sort of forming a spider-like shape. And as it completes, there's a brief purple glow that shines all over Miles, engulfing it in like a spider web pattern that concentrates on the spider's head in a pinpoint and vanishes. You seem to have cast some sort of a spell on Miles. And then they turn around and vanish back into the darkness, their lizard mounts sort of climbing over walls and ceilings as if they were floor, sticking to them, easily traversing ground. And they make distance.
Eric looks
Did
from
they
her to the
just-
spider, back to her. Because what did
Did
she
they
just do?
just steal one of our
To Miles?
spiders?
Miles.
That's what you fucking get for doing business with the drow. Fuck.
Roll insight.
Who?
You, Eric. I'm assuming you're by Miles. So, spiders are not known for much motion as is, but at this point, you've never seen Miles be so still as he's just transfixed on staring at you. Just legs splayed. The only movement you see is a slight heartbeat coming from the thorax area. Otherwise, not a single muscle moves as it just remains fixed on you. And every time you try to like sort of move, just shift away that comfortableness, his side just kind of twitches towards you as he keeps looking at you all the while. All other muscles locked.
Eric clicks his tongue. Says, "This is what happens when you get involved with drow."
I'm sorry, is there an echo in here?
No, Bazarak. We don't agree on a lot of things, but this is the one thing we absolutely are 100% in agreement on.
The next time they want to come up on us, I'm not holding back. We had the possible head of a house right there. You could have dealt a good blow to her.
And what we
There
will
you
gain from it.
You fought Drow.
Eric,
As I'm gonna give you a chance at a history check here to just sort of think about what you just said, because of the information you would know perhaps from having fought Drow before. You might have seen the insignia and cloak that she had on her, indicating, because you said head of house, high nobility for sure, but there might be more information there if you want to roll that history check.
1.
Racism leads to ignorance. Yeah.
Racism prevails again.
Yeah.
Are you
could've-
dumb? No, I'm just racist.
You could have totally just slew a matron mother.
Eric thinks about it. Perhaps.
The DC was 5.
Inspiration, my boy. That's why we have it.
No.
Yeah, this is funnier. Own it.
Racism.
Yes. This was one of those, like, use your tadpole powers. Rolls on natural one. Fuck.
Yeah.
DC 2. So, holding your breaths, you wait until the sound of the trader's departure is nothing more than a distant echo. As the last of the drow presence vanishes into the encroaching darkness, the chamber is silent once more. The flickering lights of the quartz cast shifting patterns across the wall, now undisturbed by the trader's passage, as you may complete another long rest.
Yeah, during that long rest, I'm going to attune to the dark mantle.
The
If that's cool.
the cloak that Eric is wearing?
Oh, are you wearing that?
Yeah.
God damn, I haven't seen you use it or anything like in 10 sessions.
I mean, I can't see through magical darkness, and it's casted on myself, so there's not a lot of reason to use it most of the time.
Oh, you could get blind fighting. Yeah, thinking. Go ahead.
There's an idea. I'll look into when I get another fighting style. I do think I get more than one eventually.
Do you want to attune to another magic item instead?
No.
Okay. So as the powder settles for the long rest then, the Underdark's eerie silence shattered by a sudden roar of flames. Whoever is on watch is the first to notice the unusual, unnatural blaze, a ring of fire illuminating a small shrine that wasn't there before. Let me change the background a little bit, something more appropriate. Map layer, map, enlarge. Bam shabam.
These guys.
They're
I don't
busy in the night, man.
I don't want to kill them now.
Yeah.
A ring of fire illuminates a small shrine that wasn't there before. The flames crackle with an almost sentient palace, casting long flickering shadows across the stone walls of the cavern, and at the center of the ring sits an altar, hastily constructed from jagged stones and bones, with crude depictions of a dragon's maw and wings etched into like a rock face behind it. The firelight makes the image dance menacingly, and on the altar lies a piece of parchment, singed around the edges by intact, with a message scrawled in clumsy, misspelled common. Translating it, whoever's on watch, whoever's to wake the party, you read: "You have displeased the great Thumbershod. Pay his tithe and all will be forgiven. Leave it here, unwatched, on the altar. No tricks, no guards. The wormsmith demands gold or treasure, whatever pleases him most. Bail him, and his wrath will burn hotter than ever before." And the message sort of continues in like this erratic script, barely legible in parts. "The mighty wormsmith watches. Tribute must be paid, or dire consequences will fall. No escape from his eye," and just the Scrabble just continues to mere unreadable ramble from there, sort of thing. But the choice is clear. Either the party pays the dragon's tithe or prepares for whatever horror the Wormsmith agents might unleash next.
I value the craftsmanship of the kobold, so I'll leave a gold. 1 coin.
Yeah, that's about right. I paid
My
nothing.
ears.
Sorry, man.
That seems
Gizmo
fitting.
thinks
Yeah.
we need to leave something of value.
I
or
feel-
it's gonna piss him off more.
We ain't gonna
I feel
leave him
one gold
anything.
coin is exactly.
I left a gold coin. I think that's more than fair.
Exactly.
Well, look, this is basically a bribe. So do we want to pay it, go about our business, or do we want to deal with this
I doubt he will ever stop harassing us. So
It's an empty threat. He's gonna keep sending kobolds at us. Big deal.
I mean, okay, but kobolds are annoying. They can wake us up and burn our bedrolls. You know, so we could be getting off light with this. It just depends. How do you want to play it?
Did none of you notice the spell cast on the fire the other morning? That was not done by kobolds. Themberchad somehow has way of keeping track of us, and if he can cast a spell in the fire, then what else might he be capable of? I'm not saying we give him everything or we bow down to him, but, you know, it might be wise to pay a toll, so to speak, and be on our way.
no, it's something that Greco still should be dealing soon. So just let him do his thing until the city take care of him. And I look
Put
at
him out of his
Bass.
misery.
Yeah.
What?
Also,
I
with
was
how-
ready to do it. You offered that night to help them, but you backed out.
Well, I was not feeling my best. The big guy told me to not to.
Oh, Crackle still might want to hurry up on getting that new wormsmith up and going. Look, we got a full day of travel. I don't feel like I need to leave anything. I don't really have anything.
Do we have anything of value that we're not using, that we're just carrying around?
Well, we give him one thing, he's just gonna keep asking for more. Oh, they have this? I want it now. He's just gonna keep claiming, just keep taxing us as we go.
Also, with how big his own treasure hoard is, something that's extremely valuable to us or large sums of gold for us he might not even deem as worthy tribute.
No, it's a matter of respect, I feel like. He just wants us to sacrifice something to him.
You have a lot of faith in a red dragon.
I don't have any faith. I have faith in their greed. He wants something from us.
So I made my tribute.
Wait a second. What was that Intuit charge that you said that you had? How does that work? Maybe we
I don't
send this
think it's a
back
good
to
idea
him.
do- Oh my god, wait, what if we
send
arm
this
it
back
and
to
skip
him.
No.
Yes.
You're giving him a
No,
live.
you're giving me a gun, like a weapon
No.
against me.
He's just gonna use that on the city, and I won't fucking stand for that. No way. You ain't gonna give him something that powerful.
Bazarak receives inspiration if he doesn't already have it.
I should have used inspiration before.
It's okay.
Damn it.
I
I just want to know that was a good moment.
Yeah, hell no. I'm not gonna let him nuke my city, dog. No.
No, what I'm saying is that we arm it, the kobolds bring it back to him, and then we set it off. No more Themberchad.
I don't think we have a way of setting
Possibly
it
no
off,
more
though.
Gracklestug, but hey, have to break eggs to make an omelet.
I'll break your egg. Like,
Pretty much.
Oh, fuck this. This is fun.
What if we were
Yeah, it's
to...
after 1 minute. Then you have to retreat to a distance, and it blows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not gonna get that all the way back there in 1
it's
minute.
armed after a minute, but it blows up based on trigger. So that
You
makes
can
it-
condition the trigger, be like, it arms once a dragon is within, like, 60 feet of it or something.
Yeah, but
We could totally send a bomb back to this dragon if we wanted to. Right now, I'm reading this. I don't see, but 10d10 psychic damage is not gonna. It's just gonna make him mad.
yeah,
Like, it's not gonna kill him or anything. But it would be hilarious.
but we kill like half the
is-
city with that at the same time.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
also
well then-
a 300-foot radius.
Well
That's a
then,
good idea.
You can see
okay.
a,
Well
a
then,
wicked
we can set
smile
it conditionally.
begin to spread on Jimbo's face. You're artificers. Can't you, like, duplicate magic items?
Yes, we can. But we need a lot of resource to duplicate this. Do you have
I'm
a
just saying.
million sparing coins for any chance?
Or look at this. Maybe we can set it to conditionally go off once the kobolds bring it back to their warren. I would say that that would put a big dent into their population, wouldn't you?
We're only gonna piss him off further with this. We're not accomplishing anything.
Right.
It went
And
into the kobolds' warren, and then it went off in a 300-foot radius. That might take them all out.
yes,
Yeah.
but I'm
He
not
has
willing
other
to.
agents.
Yeah, I'm not willing to depart from this. I'm never seeing anything as powerful. So
If I could
Okay.
stick this charge into the mouth of one of them abyss creatures or some other Zuckmoid, whatever she is, I'd rather do that. Take out one of the top.
It wouldn't take them out. It wouldn't even approach taking them out. This is good for taking out a large number of smaller creatures like a clutch of kobolds that are currently harassing us. But hey, I mean, if you think that you can put it inside the mouth of a demon lord, then be my guest, friend.
it's 5 kobolds. Okay, we don't need to send nuke them to take care of them.
Off table, what I'm saying is this would be left as an offering. There's 5 kobolds,
if-
but there's got to be more than 5 kobolds. They have to have some kind of den somewhere that they could take this back to, and we could have it explode. In my head,
that's
that's
up-
how perfect plan.
Yeah.
That's how it works out. But because like, here's the thing: is 10d10 okay? What's the average damage on that? It's not
50.
enough to put a dent. Yeah, it's not enough to put a dent into like a demon lord or anything like that. Like this is a like a large scale thing that can wipe out a lot of smaller things. So
Yeah,
I think the only thing is that we're sort of basing that on assumptions, though, because they could just take this and just go directly back to him. That might just be the 5. We just don't have any way of knowing. Because they
okay.
may not take it back to their, den or anything. If it's just the 5 left, they might be like, okay, we took whatever, we bring it back to Thembershard. Best we get 5, piss off Thembershard, or Thembershard, and, whatever.
What if we were to offer up the resonance stone? We don't seem to be making any use of it. I
What?
don't think it's something that would be particularly dangerous if it were in Thembershard's hands. It
Well-
has significant value.
Well, you gotta make use of it. We haven't touched it.
That thing
I
is
still don't
double-edged
understand
sword.
that thing.
It makes you feel good. Perhaps that would have an influence on Thembershard.
it's your discovery. Excuse me. You wanna depart from it, like the applications?
I don't currently have it though, Isabel. It was given to you for safekeeping with your
Yes.
construct.
And you see my tiny construct, it's putting it all around. He looks so happy with it. But what I'm trying to say is like, it's something you found. If you want to depart from it, it's your decision.
Alright, look, I'm gonna make it real simple. We got a long day ahead of us. Either put something in the bin, or just deal with the consequences. I'm not gonna put anything in. I don't owe him anything. And I'm sure as hell not gonna give him a charge that could nuke Gracklstook and take out my king. Hell no.
You know,
You wanna put anything else in there, go for it.
to the gold coin, I'm gonna put a spell on it. And it's gonna say, it's for you, kobolds, for your nice craftsmanships. That's it.
Alright. Stay with me here. What are we doing?
Let's leave
Fine,
them.
we will leave it be. I
I
don't
mean,
think
if-
one item is going to satisfy him. If we put in just the resonance stone, they will be back for more. So let's
Well,
just
they
keep
weren't
it.
specific. Why don't we just offer him something? you know?
All right.
It's up to
I
you.
will take the
It's okay.
I will take the resonance stone and I will offer it up in the bowl.
There we go. Well, we're trying, you see? And as everyone walks away, if this is where we're gonna leave it, I'm gonna reach in and take the gold coin out.
And I'm going to make sure I twist the resonance stone to turn it on before we leave it in the bowl, so that it's emanating its pleasant thoughts. It's
You just hear Uranus
whatever.
nearby just whisper, Ellara, under his breath. And he spends the rest of the long rest just chilling for like 3 hours by the stone before eventually leaving it. Having to let go of that happy memory. Synthetic as it is. Think of
There
evil.
wasn't anything else on the shrine that said like what exactly they were looking for or what would count as a tithe. It's a tithe. I think that works.
I think you're asking too much from kobolds, says the Jim Jar.
Yeah.
Well, all right, an
Precisely.
effort was made. Let's get going.
Man, I could have been rich, says Jim Jar under his breath before leaving the radius of the feel-good orb. Clabagool stares at it and is like, so much food. And also leaves the mirror of into the mirror and see your best wishes. But those feelings quickly melt away as I step away from the stone. Synthetic mirth subsides as the rest of you step away as well. You long rest?
Yes, if we have
Yeah,
the
we
time.
need to get rid
Yeah.
of
Cool.
Exhaustion.
No problem. You rest away your exhaustion. Come morning, whatever was placed in the altar has vanished. And there it remains, candles extinguished, just this altar of makeshift stone and bone. As a closing testament to our session, thank you for hanging out with me for so long. This has been such a great session. I've been having so much fun. As a closing note, you guys travel onwards, and you enter a more heavily suffused phasers area. You have magic spells entering an area where they will spark up wild magic effect. As you become aware of that, you traverse, managing not to get too lost. And as the party traverses the twisting tunnels of Dundalk, you enter this mist-shrouded area, the violent green shimmer swirling like a otherly fog, and the tunnel then widens, and in the far distance, a brilliant white light cuts through the gloom, standing stark against the oppressive darkness of the cavern. The light is pure, unwavering, and radiant. Can I reveal? Can. And you see this scene unfurl before you. Ahead, the towering sort of above the craggy rock formation, you glimpse a lighthouse, a monolith of ancient woven craftsmanship. Its central spire rises like a beacon of hope, reaching up toward the stalactite-laden ceiling above. And carved into the stone of the lighthouse are these dwarven runes that you can read. Bajorak, these magical runes place their by arcanists, weathered but still proud, each one pulsing with like faint residual magic that interacts and sparks against the phasers throughout. The light atop the tower spins slowly, casting its harsh light in every direction, illuminating patches of the surrounding phasers mist. And in this quiet eeriness that lingers here, though the light should inspire a sense of safety, the mist clings tightly to the stone as if something darker now calls this place home. And as the party move closer, the remains of an old path, partially crumbled, emerging before you, beneath your feet, leading toward the lighthouse. And you look ahead into the faint scratches and deep gouges in the rock, suggesting a struggle that took place out here. We're calling it a session. You have reached the Chthonic Lighthouse, housing the vault.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
We did it, boys.
Gonna be rich. Maybe. We're dead.
But rich.
Rich in the afterlife. Or rich with fear.
Yeah, you have to be specific.
Whoops, major spoiler. What the fuck? Fuck.
Reading.
Don't worry about it.
Can you
It's still there. It's still
can
there.
you can you delete things from
will.
Roll20?
Ah,
I think you
it's
can
already
go
out
back
there.
and chat and
It's
delete it.
already been read. It's fine. We'll we'll get to that next session.
No worries.
Alrighty.
Don't think about it, guys.
Find evidence of bestial scratches on the walls suggesting the presence of familiar creatures. Who cares about investigation checks?
Miles. We found Miles in there. Or Niles.
Oh, by the way, speaking of Miles, that weird muscle spasm lock-in where it just like rigidly walks about all the while keeping a crooked eye on Eric sort of fades over the day as it passes of travel, and Miles just returns to himself, sort of released from this seizure of muscle and control. It was like as if it was like puppeted by something. It was moving very oddly, keeping an eye on Eric. But eventually, the spell fades.
Okay.
I forgot to ask about that. I was gonna, in character, Eric was going to ask if he could trade mounts with somebody for a little bit, because he wasn't sure if Miles would try to eat
If
him
you
or
would
not,
have
with
done
how
that,
intently he was staring at
if you
him.
would have done that, you would have seen Miles, like, as soon as you get off him, like, hostilely encroach upon you, like, Mossbeard, to get back on him.
Like he's
so confused,
threatening
man.
me to get back on him.
Yeah.
Like
so
he's angry at the idea of me riding another spider. Oh, okay.
Fuck, what did she do?
But we didn't do that, so whatever. It's fine.
It was something I had in mind when you first described it, and then I kind of just forgot about it during our conversation.
So
But
before
I'm gonna
I
put
leave
in my
us,
notes as though.
yeah, before I leave us off, I have a question to the group of you guys. I want to set a background for this episode for the thumbnail on online. Which one of the 4 images would you like to be the thumbnail for the video?
Fuck, I like the
Let me
bonfire
see.
though. Like, it's funny. I will say the one of
I think because they're
the...
square, I can even use 2 because I can just put like on one half of the screen like this, and I put another one.
I think the one of the town of Elara's
Yeah.
Rest.
Elara's Rest, I feel like, was such a pivotal moment we lost. Well, not lost, but
We say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
we said
Happy
goodbye
ending,
to
yeah.
companions.
Yeah.
Established
it-
the new Mike and Ike colony.
The AI used the same cave background, if you see it, because in the middle it's
Oh,
perfectly
yeah.
symmetrical. It's kind of funny.
Oh, yeah.
Use the same asset. It's kind of funny.
Now I cannot unseen it.
Well, that's just how AI works. That's why I'm talking about, like, it's stealing art. It's taking somebody else's cave drawing and sort of making a collage out of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm not making money off of this. Nobody can sue me, but it is what it is.
Doing.
Well,
Not yet, okay? Not money yet.
stars, wishes, kudos, MVPs, favorite parts of a session, anything you guys wished for next session.
Fuck, I really... Bo makes me laugh a lot, okay? I need to mute myself every time he speaks. So, thank you, Bo.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad that you said. Sometimes I feel like I'm taking us off track, so I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
I like the draw encounter. A lot.
Yeah, it was good.
I feel like we missed
like
a lot
it
of drow interactions because you guys just escaped the prison without interacting much beyond interacting with Two-Face, if you remember him. The scarred-faced drow.
Sarif.
I guess Sarith, but he died. So because Sarith died, you guys did not get in track without Drow culture. Drow are just brutal creatures. People vary, but if you're looking for like the standard, they are very much like higher than thou, especially the females. They're like they'll treat you like your muck because you are in their vision. So nice to get a little bit of that, but it's also nice to see you guys sort of leaning toward the we all need to survive this together element of warn your people, and then there's Bazarek role playing himself where y'all can rot.
I'd rather die than work with you.
Yeah.
Die together. Or die alone, sorry.
Yeah, not saying he couldn't overcome, something, but being it so early, well, not like so early in the campaign, but just being in Gracklstoke his whole life, he's like, yo, these guys, killed my father, we attacked them long ago. Still holding on to all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Still your enemy. Because above
the still my enemy, though.
Because above the table, you guys letting them live and letting them go did increase your pursuit level by 1.
Yes.
Because I was aware of that.
Because they rat on you, essentially.
Yeah.
But at least they didn't stole Miles, as everyone was saying. I was so confused for that moment.
No, I just dominated.
Yeah,
I kept an eye on your direction to sort of scry on you guys by watching through the monster's eyes, essentially.
Yeah.
And then they passed that information on to Mizram, which sort of expedited their chase against you, so your level got risen up by 1, sort of thing.
Gotcha. I thought you had said when you cast the spell that Miles disappeared, so I thought she stole him.
No.
Yeah, that's what I
Teleported
thought
him,
too.
whatever.
But she just took him, or she was just gonna turn away and just be like, okay, I want your spider, you follow me now. And then it's like, okay, that's a power move. I really thought she would just take the spider with her and be like, okay, well, you bought maybe some goods or maybe you didn't, so as for wasting my time, I want that mount. And then it's like, do you do you just deal with it?
The thing is, as soon as you take things from the players, they're like, we're fighting them. And I was like,
yeah,
I really want you guys to lean in toward one choice over the other and not be pushed out of your choice into the other. Like you chose peace.
Yeah.
Because it was your choice. So we leaned into that. I didn't want to give you guys a reason to fight them. Even though they totally could just, instigate you guys because they're cruel and they, whatever, maybe they're greedy and they want to kill for themselves. But there is an element of what's called Lolth's favor, where it was Elvara's fault you escaped, therefore it's Elvara's mistake to sort of ferment, to bring herself back into the Lolth's favor, into the eyes of her goddess or something. It's not up to her cousins or sisters or whatever to do her job for her. Nath, who by the way shares the same family name, house name. Yep.
Yeah, I totally suspected that she was gonna say, here are all our wares, and pick out what you like, and then she's gonna say, and we are going to take the spider mounts. They are coming with us. You are not fit to ride up. And we were going to have essentially no choice.
It's very much in lore, but from a DM standpoint, is it fun? It's kind of like, I feel like that would be unfun to do. It's kind of like a dickish move. It's absolutely something they would do, it just, I didn't want to.
Yeah. That makes sense. We're here to have fun.
Yeah. Also, I mean, they're going to play with their food. They know where you're going, and Ilvar will get to take your away spiders once she puts you back in shackles, right? But it's her hunted to do.
I kind of feel like if we did end up killing her, that would make them come at us a lot harder than if we, than her going back and saying, hey, these guys are going someplace else. If she's a high-ranking house member, then that's, I don't know, in my head at least, it would be just as bad, if not worse.
Pretty much any grown-up female who goes through the academies and does not become a Drider is a high-ranking member of Drow society. Doesn't matter what number house you are. Yeah.
I think amongst Drow, just all women are high ranking.
Yeah, because if you don't make it, then you become Drider or something like that. You don't get the privilege of retaining your privileged form, essentially. Loth says goodbye, genitals, and just turns into a Drider.
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, literally, like, Loth is like, you don't get to procreate. Your line is doomed. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And it turns them into monsters. Just to serve her still, just in a cruel way. But Loth is like, I don't want these creatures that hate me to reproduce, so they're like, bye. You're now an it, essentially.
I forgot. Are Drow chaotic or lawful?
Are they Catholic?
No, chaotic.
Chaotic.
Yeah, okay.
Depends. They have, I will say they are lawful in the sense of that devils are lawful, like evil lawful. They commit evil, selfish,
I know
selfish evil, but they definitely have society and traditions and rules and faith, which puts them on a lawful spectrum. And if you have a drow who's like more on the neutral side, that's an exceptional drow. That would be somebody like Drizzt or other heroes of D&D lore, who were exception. You know. Even though Trista will put him on like the lawful good side, but that's because he's like your standard teenage novel protagonist. But definitely there are exceptions here and there. Most Drow put him on the lawful evil, though. On the religion is big in Drow society, so that's very much dogmatic society right there.
I'm just asking because LOL is like super chaotic. Like, fuck. Like, she's like, oh, you treat me well, so you deserve to die now. I'm like, what?
I don't think so. I think that Lol follows her own selfish dogma to a fault. Like, she is a fiend from the abyss, and maybe there is some chaos there, but she's not random Lol. She very much has rules, has ways, making her lawful. Like, she has a priesthood society, she has doctrines, the commandments that she invokes into her people, so that sort of puts her on a more like, she has laws. But she's selfish, making her evil. That's where the chaos comes in. Well, she'll just do whatever benefits her. She's still a queen of the abyss. Yeah.
She's the queen.
What makes her not chaotic, in my eyes, is something like compare her to Zuktmoy, who would be chaotic. Because Zuktmoy is all about nature prevails, rot prevails. I just want the entire world to be in ruin and rot, right? I want it to be through my image, with no law or order or anything, just rot and ruin. Or somebody like, you know, Demogorgon who's chaotic. You can't put him on the same sort of pedestal as Lolth in my eyes, just because then you won't have an entire city that has a literal hierarchy that is based on religion. Like, the top house is the top house because it follows Lolth's doctrines.
Yeah, I think I see what you mean, though, because sometimes what she has, like, her followers do doesn't necessarily, it might not, like, make logical sense. Like, why, if you have followers, why are you having them kill each other? But it still is, like, very much so.
Because her dogma is
like,
deceit, it's was in the shadows. Then the house that gets away with destroying a whole other house gets to reap the rewards of Lolth, because they got away with it. That's what Lolth is all about, sort of
it's
weaving those webs.
It's kind of survival of the fittest. Like, by doing that, she's making her followers stronger. So it is
called
it's
weak,
a different
exactly,
kind of, like, lawful.
When one house makes a move on another, whatever house loses is completely obliterated, like, usually,
and
by the other.
Think about it. She would be chaotic if all she did was like, oh yeah, murder, 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 murder. We're Baal. All we care about is murder and killing each other. That's chaotic. That's chaotic evil. That's very Baalism. Probably Baalin. But at the same time, they're killing each other. What is Lolth's other dogma? Procreate, 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 procreate. The females bear more strong drow to build armies with the males and priesthoods with the females. If you read the books, I mean, it's borderline filth. How much what I call sex magic happens in those books.
Wow.
The first book opens. I'm not kidding. The first book opens with like the matron mother of House Durden or whatever attacking another house, and in order to conquer like their priest circle to conquer the other priest circle, she gives birth to a baby, goes through a pain, and goes through that maternal magic, as you will, and to channel that rage and pain and all that to destroy the other priests. And I'm like, okay, cool. I can like it's and then like
Magic.
in order for like a priestess to graduate and become a priestess of love, she has to like have an orgy. Like there's a lot of like sex magic involved with the Drow society, so they're all about like killing each other and then like filling those numbers with just stronger Drow.
I'm learning new things. I don't know if they will be useful in real life, but I'm learning.
You start your own sex cult.
Oh, you see?
It's very
You
much
give me
eyes wide
solutions.
shut. Like if you look at Drow like female priesthoods and their ritual, it's very much eyes wide shut. If you ever watch that movie, and if you
I know I've heard
haven't,
of
give it a
it.
watch.
Seen it.
Give it a watch. This is session 23, 22. Shit. Got too excited. We're gonna make good progress for session 22. I was posting Reddit with people posting how long it took to finish this campaign. And we are on a good track.
Yeah, I'm happy with the pace. We're not getting like bogged down or, you know, I feel like we're making head.
Yeah, I'm making homebrew stuff, but it's still progress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, thank you guys for game tonight. Appreciate it. I gotta have to log off.
Go for it.
My bedtime is approaching.
Hey,
All right. Have a good one, folks, and I'll see you next week.
go for it.
Yeah, man,
you
we'll
later.
see you soon.
As well.
Night.
Yeah, I'm actually getting my stuff ready for my trip. So I'm actually kind of saving some time. I'm in the kitchen right now.
In the kitchen. What are you cooking?
I'm just chopping up some fruit and just getting... Because I'm going out of town, but what I like to do is they give me a per diem, but I like to save that per diem, and I just take food from home, so I can just pocket all that money and, you know, buy stuff, you know, with it, or, you know, save it up for anything that I want.
Or use it for coke, I get it. I know.
They just spend it all on drugs.
Yeah, like the cool kids.
Cocaine.
Honestly,
By the way,
the per diem-
Tom is still recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say it later.
Oh gosh, I'm recording now.
No, no, nothing.
Cocaine.